Yes. How's it going, girl?
All right. I thought I'd have a little Christmas cheer in the
I
background.
know, it's so cute. And I'm hot. I actually need to. I turned my air on, but I think I may have to take
Well,
this jacket off.
you're kind of buttoned up. Yeah,
Yeah,
I had
exactly.
on like even a like a what is it like a like a tee. And then I
Mhm.
said, nah, because then I'll probably get cold or whatever, because I'm downstairs. So I said, well,
Right,
and I'm trying to get this thing because I keep forgetting it's the mirror image going backwards. I'm trying to get it to sit right.
right,
But
right.
yeah, so here we go. So,
Okay, let me get my stuff. I may turn I have on these glasses because my other prescription glasses kind of got a little smashed.
what?
And these I can see, I don't know, I might switch between these and these other reading glasses that I have.
No worries, bro. I'm just like want to make sure. Let me grab some Kleenex. So
Yeah, take
make
your
sure. I
time.
just
Take
have
your time.
a small little
Yeah.
running nose.
Okay.
Give me a second. Oh,
Okay.
and grab some water too. So.
Okay. No problem.
Okay.
Hey everybody. Just playing a little music.
Yep. Cool. Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's my
And then
glass of water.
I'm gonna excuse myself for a second.
Okay.
Need to turn the fan on or either take this jacket off.
Okay. So we
Okay.
just off. I'll sit here then.
Okay. Let me see something. Hold on. We're getting started. The one thing I like about live streaming is it doesn't really have to be perfect. You know what I mean?
Right. It's supposed to be organic.
Exactly.
But you don't want to come like too raw. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So people be like, dang, did they know they were going to be on camera?
Exactly.
So I'm always like, I kind of thought Christmas cheer is nice. So it gives people, I don't know which side. I can't think which side am I doing.
Yeah, get ready because I'm new at this myself, so I'm kind of just playing around with StreamYard, trying to see how this all supposed to work. I got my little background thing back there. Okay, I'm playing around.
I'm just trying to. It's.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I think you're back.
That's okay.
Yeah, let me.
Well, it's just a picture of.
Yeah.
You. There we go. But I can't hear you though. I don't hear anything.
To figure out. I'm
now,
sorry.
Now I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Good. Okay. Perfect. So, all right, girl. Well, let me turn on my air, and then we'll be ready to go.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Miss Joyce Fitzpatrick. Girl, I started watching. I literally started watching, but I didn't get a chance to completely finish it. But oh my God. So far, so good. I mean, it was excellent.
Oh,
Excellent. I'm
good.
like,
I'm
oh
glad
my
because I
God.
trust your judgment. I know because you and I we can get down with with the critical aspect of film because
Exactly.
you and I
Exactly.
have been friends for a minute and we always really are we're not overly critical, but we
Yeah.
definitely go into it. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate your true and honest opinion.
Yeah. It's excellent. I mean, the whole cinematography, the camera work, the
Wow.
everything. It's
Thank
clear.
you.
The
I'm not
sound.
taking, thank you. I'm not going to take credit for that. Brian is he was our DP, and we
Right.
had other people working on it as well. Ken Montgomery, you remember Ken? You know Ken. You know Ken from our city days. You don't know Ken Montgomery?
Was
Well, he
that
worked.
the light skinned guy that I saw that was
No,
talking about it?
no. On if you go on the website, Ken is on the website. Like it shows all the crew members. I believe
Okay.
Ken is on there. He should be. But
Oh.
actually, both of them. There's Mario Page. He
Mhm.
did some of our earlier camera work. He actually worked on not the trailer that you saw, but the kind
Mhm.
of it's a little bit longer than a trailer. It's like more of a proof of concept. He worked on that, and Mario is a really good cameraman as well.
Okay.
But he did not work on the rest of the documentary. He just worked on that part. But
Okay.
Ken worked with us throughout the entire documentary. Every time we had to go shoot, he went to, I would say, the majority of the shoots on location in St. Louis, and
Mhm.
we also shot in Indianapolis, and we were all
Wow.
over the place. But Brian shot most of it. I would say
Yeah, I'm
the
not gonna
majority, and then we also had another cameraman in the very very beginning. And he also helped on the shoot. And I'm sorry, I can't think of the gentleman's name right now. He's probably going to kill me. But he worked with us on the very, very initial camera work back in August. Believe it or not, it was I want to say 2016 or 20
Mhm.
either 2017 or 2016. I have to look. That's how long ago we have been
Really?
working on this. But there was a team of people, yourself included as one of the
Right.
producers, helping us get the word out about it. And we
Exactly.
really are so grateful to you for doing
Thank
that.
you.
Um,
Thank you.
and
I'm
you
gonna get
did
the
it
word
sight
out even more.
unseen. You did it
Pardon?
sight unseen. It wasn't even completed at that time, but the fact
Yeah, yeah, but it's a excellent. I mean, I didn't realize how detailed and how much like, I was just thinking, oh, it's just going to be about the hospital and, the black doctors at the hospital. But
Mhm.
then just in the very first 2 or 3 minutes, you guys were talking about all the different schools in St. Louis and the Black Beauty College and all these things. And I'm thinking, wow, I didn't know about all that.
And
I
and it's
didn't
like I
know.
know you want to
I did.
definitely don't give away too much because there's people that still haven't seen it.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
I know what you mean. It was like when
Mhm.
Brian and I sat down and decided to do this for Dr. Robinson. And let me make sure to give a shout out to Dr. Robinson and Becky
Yes.
because Dr. Earl Robinson Jr. and his father are
Mhm.
the reason why this got made. And then Rebecca, his daughter, his youngest daughter, who I used to babysit, she is also the main reason why this documentary
Mhm.
made it to where it is now because
Right.
Dr. Robinson kept talking to her about everything that he had done.
Mhm.
And she was like, why is no one knowing about any of these stories? Right.
Yes.
So when him and I actually had a phone conversation, believe it or not, back in 2012. And I
Mhm.
do remember that. And we just kind of were getting reacquainted because I used to be their childhood babysitter. We lived right
Yes.
across the street. So I was like, why would you ask me to tell your story, Dr. Robinson? Because, we're in California. You could
Mhm.
basically throw a stone and hit a bunch of production companies.
Yeah.
Probably,
Mhm.
if they had the opportunity, would have jumped on this story, right?
Exactly.
So he said no. He said, because I know you, and we can talk about this later about being a producer and about how it's your relationships with people that really
Mhm.
make or break your career, and
Exactly.
how you treat people.
Yes.
Because if you treat
Exactly.
people badly, things
Mhm.
go badly, right? So
That's right.
the fact that he was kind enough to reach out to me after many, many years, and ask me to tell his story. And then for Brian and I had to convince Brian, because Brian said, look, I don't know these people,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And then he had to like look at the story. And once he really saw the story, he's like, wait a minute, this story? We need to
Yeah.
tell this story.
Yeah.
And, I kid you not, Angela, the drive to get this story completed when, there were nights when it was just me, doing the research, it was just Brian sitting up there
Mhm.
doing the editing while everybody else is asleep. I mean, it really took that kind of fortitude for us
Right.
to get it done. And so
Exactly.
we are very proud of it. And it was funny when we did complete it, we never ever thought it would be seen by anybody. I mean,
Right.
literally, every detail that you
Mhm.
see, we never thought that it was going to be seen by anybody. We just did it for Dr. Robinson so that he could show it to his family, or,
Right.
the people who were in it. We did it kind of on that level. So when we had the very first premiere, we were surprised that
Mhm.
almost 2,000 people showed up to St. Louis to the museum.
Wow.
Girl, it was crazy. And
Yeah.
after
That's
that,
awesome, girl.
it was like, for me, and you know how long I've been grinding. You
Mhm.
know me. And the thing that's interesting, because you and I were talking earlier today about how people see us, and how, a lot of times
Mhm.
people expect you to be a certain way. And yes, I'm educated, you're educated,
Yeah.
we have our degrees and all that, but a lot of times people make the assumption that you're not what they would think.
Mhm.
And I even had someone that came to one of the screenings that had seen the film and actually said, I can't believe you did this film. And I was like,
Right.
what does that mean? But
Exactly.
I think it's not that they wouldn't expect me to be able to do a film like this, because I've been working in film and television off and
Mhm.
on my whole life.
Right.
It's just the detail that was put into it.
Yeah.
And the help that I got from all the doctors, from Dr. Robinson, leading me down the path to go.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
basically, once they lead you down that path, that's it. You have to be the one to gather all the information, and you have to be the one to put all those connecting,
Yeah.
bridges together. And I
Mhm.
really feel that that is where my education and my background and just my general intellect came into play, because I'm just
Mhm.
that type of person. I think even when we worked together when we were in college, that's how I
Mhm.
was. I could just do a whole lot of, while I'm working a job and I'm going to
Mhm.
college doing all this, stuff. And I just work that way. I work well that way.
Yeah.
So for me, the research was really intriguing. I just kept
Mhm.
digging and digging. And believe me, there's still so much information that didn't
Yeah.
even make it into the documentary.
I know.
That's
I could see this
crazy stuff.
becoming like I could almost see this becoming like a series.
That's what everybody
Like,
says they want to
yeah,
do, either a TV show or a docuseries, and we're really
definitely.
trying to make that happen.
Mhm.
We've gotten a lot of interest, and we also just recently got a distribution deal for the documentary, which a lot of people will be glad to hear. Um,
Right.
and the interesting thing, that the documentary has been making its rounds as far as private screenings throughout the
Mhm.
U.S. for about a year and a half. That's the crazy thing. It's had
Really?
a life of its own, and we don't have to promote it anymore. People just,
Mhm.
they go like, I really want to see this movie, and they reach out to us via our website, which is
Yes.
thecolorofmedicine.com, for anyone out there that wants to take a look.
Mhm.
And they can see, and I'm sure you had a chance to check out the website as well.
Right. Right.
So you could see all the different, like, universities, and even Princeton University saw.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm like, I never even went to Princeton. The fact that a gentleman named Ezell Sanford, who got his doctorate, who's in
Right.
the film. That's the gentleman you saw in the film.
Really? Wow. That's
He was
awesome.
phenomenal. We had so many phenomenal people
Mhm.
that were in the movie that really just, I don't think anyone thought it was going to be what it was until we were done with it, because you know how it is when
Yeah.
you're filming,
Yeah.
you're not really
Yeah.
thinking about it,
Yeah.
but people love it, and we love it too, and we're so happy that Dr. Robinson can have the legacy that he has, along with all of the other doctors who were kind enough to allow us to film
Right.
it. Because there's a
Yes.
lot of people that came to us after, oh, well, how come you didn't ask me to be in it? It's like, Hey,
right.
Timing is everything,
Yeah. I mean, it seems to be very, very well put together. And I pretty much I was sort of halfway through, but what I was gonna ask you is, okay, so first I was gonna ask you, now, do you want me to ask you more about the history of the film, like the people, Homer G. Phillips, and who he was, and
Oh,
things?
you can ask me whatever you want. I mean,
Okay.
I can tell you if you would like to know.
So let me ask you that question, so that everybody will know. Okay, so we're talking about The Color of Medicine. We're talking about the Homer G. Phillips Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri.
Right. Correct.
It's one of the first Black hospitals, or one of the largest.
Technically, at the time it was built, there were Black hospitals that were built prior in the city, and then I think just even around the nation there were a few other hospitals, but they weren't. Again, we're talking about barely after we were through Emancipation Proclamation, and people were barely able to do anything. And this was before we even had the civil rights. I mean, this was all before that.
Right.
But what makes Homer G. Phillips Hospital unique is the fact that it was the first all African American, fully operational, completely state-of-the-art hospital, teaching facility in the world. So that's what made it so unique. There were other hospitals before that, but they were not as well equipped. They weren't state of the art. And this hospital existed for 42 years, opening its doors in 1937. And how we know it was so unique is because the President Roosevelt actually allotted funds, for this hospital to be built. And Homer Phillips again lost his life. Well, we allegedly believe that's why, because of the fact that he lobbied to get this funding. And once he did, he didn't even live to see the hospital be erected. But if you could see when you were looking at the documentary, the different photos that we were able to find in the archive of showing the grand opening, which is over 5,000 people. And what's amazing about that is when I was doing my research, there were no film archives, no film reels. Like when you see old movies, I mean, come on, they have film reels from the 1930s, but yet there are no film reels about Homer G. Phillips. And the reason being is because it was of racism, and they didn't want to record it. And it was made during the time of where it was the I want to call it the wax, and that's what I call it. But basically, where the WPA, I'm sorry, I'm thinking like the military wax, but it's WPA, the workers force that built bridges and hospitals, and all this was allocated to the President of the United States at the time. So that was a big deal for this hospital to be built, and it still stands today. And when you think back on when it was made, it was ominous for its time. It is, and it's in a beautiful facility. It still stands. And and since we did the documentary, people are actually going there more to see the hospital now that they, and even though it's not a hospital anymore, we can discuss that as a living facility, but people are going like, I want to see this place that this documentary is about.
What is the hospital? What is the location used for now?
The location is currently being used as a senior living facility. They gutted the interior, and because again, it's such a beautiful facility that they didn't want to get to to tear it down. They repurposed it, and basically, in all the interiors are being used for like condos. And they're actually really nice. I mean, I
think I can show a screen share of how it looks.
How it looks now, and that's actually in the documentary too.
Yeah,
you can actually see what it looks like inside.
Okay, man, I was just like blown away. Okay, now I have the 2 minute. Is it a 1 minute clip? 1 minute 30 seconds.
The 1 minute, that's the second trailer. That's really like technically the trailer that we love.
Okay, and then I saw another thing on YouTube that was like 6 minutes.
That's sort of like a concept, proof of concept piece that we did, and we put that we used that piece because we had actually did crowdsourced funding to get funding to do the film, and that was what that was used for. So but we still include it on our site. And for other people that go to the site, there's a lot of film clips on there, like interviews with us. Like this will most likely end up on that site. You know,
so do you mind if I show one of those clips right now?
Yeah, you can. I would suggest the shorter one. You know.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm like,
right here. Well, it's 6 minutes, and that's pretty long. You know.
All right, I'm playing around with Screen. What is this? StreamYard.
And it'll let you show it.
Yeah. And let's see here. It is the 2-minute trailer, right? Number 2.
Yeah, the second trailer.
And hopefully,
you may have to expand your screen so it'll fill up the whole screen. I guess. I don't know.
Can you hear it?
I can somewhat hear it. Yeah.
Okay.
In the struggles of African Americans,
it's kind of low.
You can hear it pretty well. I can hear it.
Okay.
They have provided incredible services to a community that was really unique.
Oh yeah, I could have expanded it.
Because of racism,
you can.
Not this hospital.
I'm scared to mess with this thing, girl.
Oh, then leave it the way it is. Then.
Okay.
In this community, they were living.
It's kind of breaking up on us.
Oh, is it still playing? Oh, it's probably the internet. But hold on. Go ahead. 1 second.
Literally under siege, but they surrounded this hospital for almost 20 days. It is important for the record to show this community did not give up this hospital. It was stolen.
Brown melanin, vegan, intelligent, original, originator, royal bound, heritage, skin, tough as leather, and endure whatever weather's in this princess. It's 50 shades of it, no sex and flicks. Take a second, listen, enjoy its beauty, booty, shorty, so please don't give it negligence. Them scars tell a story, our defiance and glory. Some black history books, all that white is boring me. The black of the berry, the sweeter the juice. Media got us thinking the black of the worst taste. You, the world may neglect you, fear you, disrespect you. I'm here to tell you, your skin is hush. They hung us, they stumped us, and yelled out they haters. You're not a freedom,
that's awesome.
Thank you. Well, you know, Brian is such a phenomenal, director and editor, and and he's also great with music design. And we were so blessed. Like the song that you hear at the end, like when you see the end, like when you get to the end of the movie, that song is playing at the end. But that song is sung by Jeffrey Bodine, and he is actually a school teacher. He's an educator. And he actually teaches, he no longer teaches there now, but he was teaching at Sumner. It's called SUMNER, Sumner High School in St. Louis. And that the school is actually located directly behind Homer G. Phillips Hospital. And there's a whole dichotomy of that area called the Ville, which was actually explained in the documentary. That whole city, that little area was very much its own unique,
well, the lady
similar to like you've got Inglewood now is growing up into this whole thing, and just like whatever city you live in, it's sort of like they have their own little connective tissue with all of the people, the schools, the hospital, and the hospital, and I think their downtown area was the whole hub of the Ville, so it was very unique. And he actually was witnessing some of the interviews, because we were actually using the school for some of our interviews. And he was walking through and he was asking, what is this? And so when we explained it to him, he says, maybe I may have a song I want to put in there. And we were like, yeah, sure. Because everybody always says they have something. So once we heard the song, we were just blown away. And it was so odd. His name is
what was his name again?
Jeffrey Bodine. And he has
Okay.
his, he's a really good rapper, and you can find
Yeah.
his information online. And he's also on all the social media. But he's actually, like I said, in the film, and he's got
Wow.
all this new music he's doing as well. He's a really nice young man, and he's really very talented. And
Yeah, I mean, that song actually, I mean, I would have thought he was like Jay-Z on that level. You know what I mean? Because it sounds just like something you'd see on a soundtrack. You know what I mean? Just
yeah, he's really good. And the funny
excellent.
thing is, people, you know how it's just like with you saw the movie Saturday Night Fever with John Travolta, and you
Yeah.
know all the songs from Saturday Night Fever were written before. They had nothing to do with Saturday Night Fever, the movie. They just wrote the
Mhm.
songs, and when they
Mhm.
sold it, it just, for whatever reason, it fit the movie. That's the
Yeah.
same thing with this. The song was written way before we ever came into the picture.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we just thought, oh my God, how crazy for this song to fit the movie perfectly, you know? So
Excellent.
that was with God, you know, it's just like everything just kind of came together. And, you know, again, every time we've had a screening, which we will probably be having more, even
Mhm.
once the film is launched on the streaming sites like Netflix or whatever,
Exactly.
which we're really excited about. For those people around the country and every place that haven't seen it,
Mhm.
still we're getting requests from people because, you know, there's Black History Month coming up, and then there's also, you know,
Right.
Martin Luther King's birthday, but people want to see the film.
Yeah.
And so again, it was a really great journey, and it still is. I mean, that's the crazy thing. It's the film that keeps on giving, as they say.
Right. Right. Well, okay, so I saw that in that area they were talking about how it was a walkable community. And that
Mhm.
kind of reminds me of what, because I guess it's saying basically, well, it's your movie, so I'm like, wait a minute, you know
No,
what I'm talking
go
about.
ahead.
You know what I'm talking about. But it's like are they basically comparing it to like communities like sort of where I am or where I live, where you you can live in the area, work in the area, go downstairs, there's a store, you can
Mhm,
walk to the grocery store, everything is right there, except
mhm.
this was just an all black community,
That's
which
exactly what
all the
that's exactly
dollars.
what that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the woman that we interviewed, she was so sweet. I can't pull her name right at the moment, but she was so sweet. And she was part
Mhm.
of the for the Ville organization. And
Yes.
basically, yeah, everything she said is, and you know, that's kind of been what they're going back to in a lot
Mhm.
of communities, because
Yeah.
people don't want to have to drive all these miles to get where they want to go,
Exactly.
you know, because even in my community I can walk, you know,
Yeah.
to, it's a little bit of a walk, but not to like the
Mhm.
smaller stuff, but like,
Mhm.
you know, it's definitely still would be considered possibly a walkable community. But you're
Yeah.
definitely in the walkable community where you are,
Yeah.
and that is what they are talking about, definitely.
Right. And so
Hmm.
all of this took place in Jim Crow era.
Hmm.
There were young black doctors, lawyers, administrators, tradesmen, businessmen, role models. I was trying to take notes.
Oh,
Um
cool.
and I man, I was I'm like, man, it's just it's so weird how that even though back then there was segregation and supposedly that was worse because you had Jim Crow and you had, you know, a bunch of super racist stuff going on, but
Hmm.
in some ways it seems like times were better for the black community as well because we had educated people doing positive things, you know, not really trying to show our worst self. And you know what I mean?
Hmm.
We weren't
Hmm.
on the internet showing our worst. We were trying to show our best self.
Right. And
And
that Black excellence is what you
exactly.
pointed at. And it's funny that you say that because, um, you know, that's one of the interviews that we had was with Dick Gregory's brother. You know who Dick
Mhm.
Gregory, the comedian,
Yeah.
is? His brother is in Ron Gregory, and that's one of the things that he mentioned was that back then, you know, people, it wasn't like people were poor; they just wanted to stay in their
Mhm.
own community, and it definitely was about giving back to the community. You know, the money circulated many times before it went to any other place.
Right.
You know, and I remember for me growing up, that was how it was in Indianapolis. And that was why, like I said, the neighborhood I grew up in, you know, there were Black professionals, and, you know, including my father and my mother. And basically my dad provided a service. Dr. Robinson provided a service. I mean, it was crazy. When I was growing up, everybody we dealt with was mostly Black. For my father having service stations, he dealt with white people in that regards. But our even our dog's veterinarian was Black back then. It just everybody was part of their community, and it wasn't a negative thing. I mean, I never really thought about it. And then when I did start going to a white school, it still was the same thing. I mean, we just happened to live in an area that was kind of affluent. So there were going to be more, at that time in the Midwest was only white and Black. There were no Asians. There were nothing else. We had one guy who was East Indian, and we're still kind of friends on Facebook now, but he was very nice, and he was like the only other person of color from a different ethnicity that I knew. But pretty much it was Black and white, but people were fine. I mean, at least as a kid, we didn't really get to, if there were things going on, our parents shielded us from a lot of that. But I wasn't naive. I knew that racism existed, but we basically lived a pretty good life. And like I said, seeing Dr. Robinson, going to work every day, that's what I remember when I did see him. Because, when I was in junior high and high school, you're going with your friends to school, I would see him in his scrubs going to work, but I never knew, you don't know. And why would I know? But still, once I did know, it's like, wow, knowing that this person trained at this hospital. And what's interesting, when we had our screening in LA, I was really skeptical that we would have anyone, show up that connected to the hospital. But I was wrong again. Every time we screen it in every state, we screened it in. People have been there that I trained at Homer G. Phillips, or my dad trained, or my mother trained, or my mom was a nurse, my dad was a radiologist. And that's why we know the footprint that Homer G. Phillips Hospital left. Because it trained. That's why in the definition that we have for the synopsis, it did train over 2/3 of all Black doctors across the U.S. and the world. Because we actually have some doctors from Haiti and some other countries stand up and tell us that they did their training there and then went back to their countries.
Yes,
it's crazy. Crazy.
Wow, that's amazing. I have a friend named Dr. Marcia Glenn, and she's a dermatologist out here, but she has a whole network of Black female doctors that she deals with. And I actually was helping her with this project. This was like years ago. It was like, I forgot what it was. It was like a spa retreat type thing, but I was like mailing letters to all these Black doctors, and I'm like, wow, there's actually quite a bit of us out there.
What's interesting though is, as many Black doctors as there are, there's still not that many.
Not enough, huh?
Compared to other people. And that's the thing that is emphasized to us all the time. Or the few that you see, there's there's just not enough. There's a gentleman out there now who's a doctor, and I've seen him on social media. He has a thing called White Coats or something like that. He's trying to make it more aware of that they need more Black males and and females, just Blacks period, to get into medicine. And we'd rather take the easier route, the entertainment route, whatever route. But I think it's great when you see people that are challenging themselves and going into science and medicine, because yes, it can be grueling, but it can be rewarding too. So
exactly. Man. So oh man, and then I wrote something down about they were making, did he say they were making $10 a month?
Yes. I mean,
oh my goodness.
When you think about the time, because again, the hospital opened in 1937. Okay. So at the time, Dr. Robinson, who is 86 now, he didn't get to the hospital until the 1950s. So that's his father was the one that was getting, now just imagine, when Dr. Robinson was there getting $10 a month, when he was there, just imagine what his father was getting, and his father, I remember, and that's the scary thing is that, it's not really scary. It's scary because it's kind of like unique. I actually met his father because I was a little kid. I was like 10. And he was my mother's doctor because my mother had diabetes, and he was my mother's doctor at the time, I believe. I mean, every time I ask my father, he's all vague about it. He's like, I don't remember. But I believe that's the only reason why we would know them, because you don't just know a doctor randomly. And I believe that he was my mother's doctor. And then so they ended up building a house in our neighborhood that the second Dr. Robinson inherited it, which is how I know him. But I did meet his father and his mother before I ever met him. And that's what's so really odd because I was a kid, but I
was just thinking about the housing market. I was like, you know what? I remember my grandfather was a professional boxer and he fought Archie Moore out here. He lived here in LA, but he was from Texas. But back then in LA, the houses were like $12,000 for the house, and then I think the homes up in Baldwin Hills were like $25,000. So I'm like, wow, $10 a month, the homes,
everything was more affordable, but it was still, what we consider affordable for them, it was still like earning the money we earn now, they still had to earn it, and use that money. It's just the cost of living. Everything was just different, and it's the cost of living is now too. Like when you go down south and everything, it's still cheaper than I don't know why California has to be so daggone expensive.
It's ridiculous. Like, people don't believe how expensive it is here.
We're blessed to own our places because, girl, it's I don't know how people do it and rent. I really don't. But I know you have to, and I'm not. And the only reason why I say that is because
in LA, a lot of the people that are renting are paying more than the people that are owning in some of the areas, because the rent is super high, so the mortgages are actually a little bit lower now.
Lower than the rent, yeah. It's unfortunate, and I really don't think it's necessary. But, as owners, I still would never gorge people or gouge people, as they say. But there's just some evil people out there, To me, I would rather have someone who was stable, nice, and took care of my property and charge them less than charging those exorbitant, prices and then stay there for a couple of months and don't pay you anything and then move out or whatever and tear your place up. You know what I mean?
And now you're making me think about the fact, when I get off of here with you now, I'm going to watch the other film. Oh, okay. But you don't have a premiere for that one yet, right?
Oh, you want to talk about the latest project?
I only want to talk about that one briefly because I want to bring you back for the next show so we could do a whole show on that project.
Thank you. Oh my God, we're so excited about that.
Okay, I saw a little synopsis about it, and it said something about Airbnb, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I do Airbnb occasionally, so that's why I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. I can't wait to watch it now.
That's the fun part about it is the fact that it has that in the title because it's, it doesn't play a huge role in it, but it just kind of leads you into the mystery. But basically, our latest project that I'm really excited about too is, because people, they think of us as documentarians.
Yeah.
But we do narrative stuff too.
Well, girl, let me tell you something. Your work is I was going to say, let me tell you, your work is so good. I mean, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, it's on the same level as all these people that are huge or whatever. So I'm pretty sure this is going to blow up. Because you know how I think. Like, I'm already thinking, okay, you could go the totally independent route, sort of like the dude I always talk about, Tariq Nasheed. Because, he puts his
I know, I admire him too. And you told me about him. I admire him, I
mean, you could have theaters sold out. You sold out everywhere, even including London. I mean, they go over to London and show their stuff. They'll like have one or two dates, and it'll be like, okay, January 2nd, this is coming out. Everybody. So I want all my promoters from New York, Chicago, Detroit, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm giving you guys the film for $1,000 or $1,500. You can show the film, and whatever profit you make, you get to keep, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you basically have promoters all over the place promoting your film for you, and then they're just paying you a lump sum. And so that's a good way of doing it independently. But you really, I mean, you could also go the other route as well. So it's
well, we kind of explored both of those options, and as I was saying earlier, Homer G. Phillips has a life of its own. It has, made enough, I mean, we're not rich or anything, but we've been able to, that film has allowed us to, travel around the world, that movie. And also, and then, and everything has been going back into the film, like I said, we're not running out buying brand new SUVs or anything, but, the film has paid for itself, which I think is great. And as you said, it's not like we, had this funding and then the movie was crap. It's like people really love how it turned out. Like I said, we put our foot in it. We really gave the people something to be proud of. And we were so proud that Washington University actually gave us an honorarium. They had a big banquet. Girl, it was, it just shows you I'm so humble that we're at these events, and I had to go speak at St. Louis University. They flew me out and everything, and I went to speak on the film. And, I did not know. I just thought, because they had like this health fair thing. And I thought, they just want me to go, and they're just going to use the film as an opener, like a little, like a, I don't know, like a warming thing, like a reception film. And then they're going to do all this other stuff. So when I got there, they were like, and girl, I went into this grand ballroom. They had all of this, catered food and all these, all this stuff. And then I said, wow, this is nice to just be a part of this. And the man looked at me and he said, this is for the film, the whole I was like, oh my God, I didn't know. It was crazy because I never thought, it's sort of like I'm so humble because, again, like you said, we've been grinding for a minute. So I don't think of it that way. And I had no idea that all of that was for us. I was like, wow, this is insane, And then when they had another banquet at Washington University with all of these people, and they gave us a huge plaque with the name of the film on it, and Dr. Will Ross, who is a huge advocate of ours, he is a big part of Washington University. He has so many titles, I can't even tell you what the titles are, but he's an African-American doctor, and he was one of the people we interviewed. You actually probably saw him in an interview. He's the gentleman with the bow tie. When I went to go interview him initially, girl, he was like not having it, because, so many people had dealt with them trying to get a movie made and they never did it. So he was sort of like, yeah, you're going to do this and it's not going to work. So when it finally came out, when he presented us with this plaque and this, and we got funding too, believe it, he said, Joyce, this movie made us so proud to be in St. Louis. He says, people always think of St. Louis, like you said, like the Ferguson thing. And not that that's not important, but he said, be able to be proud of St. Louis. You made us proud. And I mean, those are the reasons as a filmmaker that you do it. That's why you do it.
Isn't Nelly from St. Louis?
And when we were trying to put our whole promotional package together, we were thinking of reaching out to people who were from St. Louis.
I'm related to Nelly, girl, but I still haven't met him. But my cousin, I have a cousin on Channel 4 News.
I think you were telling me about that.
And she's from St. Louis also, and she's Nelly's first cousin.
Well, then you are related to him.
She knows him, but I just met her like maybe 5 years ago or so. Yeah, but
you should reach out. The thing is that
it's hard to reach out to them.
Nelly is from St. Louis. Casey Lemons is from St. Louis. There's so many people that
I'm gonna pour myself some organic wine while I'm.
You know what? Do you have because technically, you know, we didn't even get a chance to get into like the health stuff or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I haven't. You know, I'm not supposed to be drinking anything.
Exactly.
But I know that there's a keto wine. That was created. Yeah. I wanted to test it out. I haven't done that, but I'm not really a big drinker anyway. But I know, because with being a cancer survivor or whatever, you have to stay away from the sugar. Exactly. So that's why wine and any kind of liquor is not good for you. But there's a keto wine that.
I'm gonna look that up as soon as I get off here, because I don't really drink the wine that often, but because I have this channel, Wigs and Wine.
I mean, you can drink it. You know, you can drink it. I'm just saying, like, for me, it's sort of like a no-no. You know,
the sugar.
But I know you wanted to talk about the other film.
It's so much stuff I want to talk about with you, girl. I want to talk to you about being a cancer survivor, how you overcame it, because a lot of people are not aware of a lot of things that you can do that are not what most people, it's totally different than what you would think. And so, I want to talk about that with you. I definitely want to touch on the other film. You can tell me about the film.
I can be brief about it so that you can talk about it later on in another broadcast. It's called Hidden Orchard Mysteries. Okay. And people can look it up online. And when you get a chance, you didn't get a chance to see the little the clips I sent you, right?
Of the Hidden Orchards?
Yeah.
Orchard? No, I mean,
if you like Hidden medicine, you're gonna really like Hidden Orchard. Then
now, that clip is not public yet, though, right? That all of
you can't show any of that. To the public.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, no, I don't want to show.
And the thing is that it's the actors are phenomenal. The two lead actresses, Gabby Pastore and Janesse Tate, are our two leads. They are the sweetest girls you ever want to meet. So talented, and all the other actors we had. My goodness, Kim Akia. I know I'm not pronouncing Kim's name properly. Donovan Williams, Davy Moore, Audrey Mia. Corey Grant, God, there's so many. His name is Fitzpatrick, like mine is Fitzgerald, the young kid. Yes. I can't think of his first name. He's going to kill me. I'm trying to remember everybody's name that acted in it, and I can't remember everyone's name. But we had so many actors that were so phenomenal that really brought their A game, and we're so happy and proud of the product, and they're going to be happy too. So we're actually planning a premiere probably in February or March, more like March. Depending upon how quick we can get everything turned around, because everyone's been asking us that was in the movie, when are you going to do the premiere? So we're planning on doing that around February or March, and there's a whole big promotional thing about that we'll be able to talk about later on, and people will get a chance to see it on social media. So I just want to tell anyone that's watching, any of the actors. And I mean Vanessa. I'm just trying to think of all the actors that were so phenomenal, and I can't remember everyone's names. But please don't be mad at me, you guys, because I can't remember everyone. But it's called Hidden Orchard Mysteries.
Bring that next time we talk about it, because
yes, definitely. All of them are. They all will be invited, and we want them to bring their families and as many people as they can to the premiere. So that's that. And then in regards to the health thing, I'm still dealing with the aftermath of that. I mean, I'm still dealing with it. I don't like to really give it power, but exactly. I'm doing really well with it. But it's definitely still there. And it's, I was able to beat it. And then I learned a valuable lesson about, throwing yourself back into that negative space.
Right.
Like, you cannot do that. It's really sad that a lot of people don't have the benefits that we have. We were fortunate enough to work for an entity that allowed us to have good insurance. And when they talk about insurance, they are not lying. I mean, if you don't have good insurance,
really?
Yeah, it's bad. But
so I guess that would not be my job until
look at it this way. I would say having good insurance is a part of it, but it's also about taking the rein yourself and reading and getting to know your body. And and again, I can't stress it enough, staying away from the sugar, staying away from all of those bad carbs, staying away from, the stress.
Yes.
And I think the only thing, and it's funny because when we were younger, we were like rail thin, you just I remember when we were working at for the police department, I would walk every day for lunch, and the route that we walked, I think I walked like 5 miles a day.
Exactly.
Every single day. And I never found anything.
Girl, your legs. Now, I always was known for having some nice, beautiful legs. Every man I've ever known, or people just always love my legs because I could ballet.
You always fly. You were fly back in the day, girl. But, you still are, but I remember.
Let me tell y'all, this girl right here. Oh my God.
And I still got my legs. I mean, it's funny. I haven't really, I think and that was when I knew I was sick, because I never gained as much weight as I had gained for me. And I was like, God, this is crazy. And you could, like Brian, he tells me he could look at like our old pictures and stuff. And he's like, God, I can see where you could definitely tell the difference,
Yeah.
But I wasn't, but I was solid though. That was the thing. I wasn't like sloppy, heavy.
Oh, no.
I was
I've never seen you overweight. I've never seen you overweight. It's weird because once I gained weight, I think I was around 43 when I started to gain weight, and I really couldn't understand why. But I think it was the low vitamin D causing lower testosterone, which causes weight. I didn't know that. I had stopped lifting weights because I used to lift weights every single day, girl. I was body.
I remember that. And we all used to go lift weights. Girl, remember over at the other police station, you could actually go to the gym. We used to lift weights all the time. And I remember taking a class to learn from LA City College to learn how to lift weights so that I wouldn't have to ask a guy, because guys think you're trying to hit on them when you're asking. And that I believe, the fact that we were so active at that time, that is what saved me now. From I still have my tone and everything. I mean, getting back into it, I was working out a lot at first when I was diagnosed the first time. And girl, but I look back at some of those videos, because how social media will bring back those videos. I was like, dang, I was really doing it, And,
let me tell you, I just bought this little program, even though I really don't need it. But the thing is I already know what to do. Now, there's this one woman, her name is NayFit. Look her up, NayFit. And her name is Renee Jones, and she's a IBFF women's fitness. She was in the titles and winning and all that stuff. Well, now she's kind of more known on Instagram for her butt or whatever. You know how they do all the squats and stuff. But she has the abs and butt program, and she has some other program. It's like $50 a month, and she teaches you all of the stuff that you need to do in order to get this certain body. Build your body the way you want it and shape it how you want it. But anyway, I decided that I was about to start lifting weights again, because it's excellent. And it also goes hand in hand with keto and all that stuff, because it shows you autophagy, just like the other stuff.
Exactly. For yourself, I would say, there's no real reason to buy, all those things. All you need to do, and that goes for everybody. That goes for me too. You know what to do. It's just a matter of doing it. Girl, this fireplace is getting warm. The only thing
mine is fake. I
was like, is that a real fireplace?
That's my TV, girl.
Girl, I got the real one going on, but it's just warm in here. But anyway, which is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make it warm. But anyway, the best thing to do, and we all know what to do. It's definitely 50% your diet and 50% working out. And no matter how much working out you do, if you don't cut out those certain foods, your body is not going to let go of that. All you're doing is building muscle on top of fat. That's the only thing.
Exactly.
So you have to cut out, and whether you do it via keto or vegetarian whatever works for you to do it, you know, and there's so many avenues that affect that, because again, you know, if with being older, whether you're going through menopause or not, or whether like, if you're lacking vitamin D3, or you're getting too much iron or not enough iron. I mean, you really have to, I would suggest for anyone listening, the best way to assess your health is to go and get a major checkup first and find a doctor that's going to, and tell the doctor what you're there for. Say, look, I want a complete blood workup. I want to know my cholesterol. I want to know my iron levels. I want to know, and you're pretty good with that because we talk about that all the time.
Yeah, my thing is, I know what to do, but sometimes I just don't do it. But
well, that's everybody. It's hard.
But guess what? This is the trip, though. All the years that I've studied naturopathic medicine, and I was obsessive with it, just addicted to talking about it, and you know, herbs and this and that, and fasting and juicing. But I finally came to the conclusion that all the juicing, I don't like that. You don't even need to juice, because then you're getting high concentrations of certain things that your body is not going to recognize it. You need, if you really want to get your body right, you probably should go keto just to get all the sugar out of you.
Right, get the glucose,
water fast,
and you still got to get glutamine, which is you get your glutamine from the carbs, you know, which you don't need. I mean, some people can process glutamine, and again, you know, you're in a good position because you don't have cancer, so you can kind of play around with all of that.
So we all have it. We all have cancer cells, and it just hasn't developed. Remember,
and you don't want it to. That's what I'm saying. So you don't want it to get to that. So if you do, and I know everyone has those cells, but what causes cancer is, and I'm not an expert, so I want to say that up front. So people, I'm not a doctor or anything. Only thing I know is what I went through personally for myself and the research that I've done. And I know that there's a mitochondria, our mitochondria for all of our cells. When that mitochondria is broken down, that's how you're being susceptible to cancer. And how your mitochondria gets broken down is from too much glucose, too much glutamine, not enough vitamin D. And your cells get destroyed over time.
Now let me tell you something, girl. I just got this in the mail today, okay? And I never thought I would do this, but I met some woman from somewhere, France, somewhere, when I was staying, when I was renting out my place. And look, I bought I don't know if you can see it.
I see a glowing thing. What is it?
Well, let me turn it off. Okay.
What is that? It's an iPad, but
no, it's called a Verilux, and it's a happy. It's supposed to help. It's actually wait a minute. Let me get the box, because I want to
give you like ultraviolet light. Or something.
It's a light. It's a light, and it mimics the sun. So if you're not out in the sun,
you can get your vitamin D3.
Yeah, it helps boost your vitamin D. And it also helps because the girl that told me about it, she said that she was getting really depressed, and once she started using it, I guess like people that live in Washington or places that are rain a lot, they use these lights and they feel way better. They feel more energized.
In Alaska and places like that, you can have a tendency to get depressed because of that. Like right now, they've actually made cases about that, where people have been, diagnosed with depression due to the fact of not getting enough sunlight. But like, here's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. I'm drinking water, but it's Kagan water. Kangan. And people that have the machines that make the water, I get mine from a really good friend, and she's so sweet. She's an attorney, and I'm not gonna say her name because people will be banging on her door trying to get water from her. But she's the person, and I'm probably gonna get a machine myself. Another one of my friends has a machine too. And I can say their first names, like Denise, and I know another friend of mine named Elva. She has one of those machines. It's actually pretty good for you. It definitely helps. There's something in the Kagan water that helps, with your mitochondria and your cells, and it helps you to stay even more hydrated than normal. But again, going back to what we were talking about, those are the things that matter. Your hydration. And I remember I wasn't as hydrated as I needed to be.
Yeah, that's what I need.
and I wasn't getting enough magnesium because I would wake up with a headache sometimes. Yep. And I'm like, why do I have a headache? And when I started taking magnesium, then the headache went away. And so when I really, they may never watch this, but I always give thanks to Ron Pina, and people don't know who that is, but I was fortunate enough to meet him and Victoria. They helped me through, and also Dr. Q and Dr. Ann Cooper. All of these people helped me when I was diagnosed originally with my first bout of cancer, and it was very early stages, and they all worked so hard to help me beat it. And it was a rough road, even at that time, because of not being disciplined with my food and everything. They helped me. Ron is the owner of Quest Nutrition, which is huge. And huge. I'm blessed to have met him, and all of that was still due to Brian. Brian introduced me to him because Brian was working with Ron's company at the time, and Brian said, "My girlfriend has cancer. Can you help her?" And I still think, Ron, like I said, I know you may see this, you may not, but I'm always very grateful to you, and we're still friends on Instagram. He still keeps an eye on me, I know, but the fact that I know a billionaire is amazing.
Yeah, that's excellent, girl.
But he's a nice person, and for him to even allow me the opportunity to go through what I went through, it was a blessing, and it taught me a lot about health. And Victoria helped me so much. They taught me so much. And when I had to go back to work, because you're on leave or whatever, and when I went back to my day job, as blessed as I was to have the job, I realized that it was the biggest mistake that I could have ever made for my health, because
to go back,
because of the stress and people could look at my job and think, oh, it wasn't stressful, because there was a lot going on, and it's not even worth going into now, but just, there's a lot of great people there, and it was a great opportunity when I was working there. I did PR, and it was great. And they also gave me an opportunity to do my video stuff. I don't think they realized the level of talent that was there that they were dealing with, but at the same time, I still was grateful that they allowed me to be there. But the stress of working with when not living up to your potential, doing the things that you're supposed to be doing,
that's true.
That's stress. Along with not being, cancer is so scary. You have to really be on it. You can't let up at all. That's the scary thing. Even though I had went into remission, and I was fortunate enough to not have any surgeries, no chemo or anything, and I went into complete remission just from the holistic stuff that I did.
Exactly.
The biggest mistake I made at that time was not sticking to it. I thought, oh, it's over. I'm happy. I can go back to my lifestyle because I beat cancer. But the stem cells are underlying. They're still there. And you have to fight those stem cells, which is what I'm currently doing now.
And that's why we need to go to True North, or we need to go to Costa Rica. And
girl, I'll go to True North because I'm not trying to go out the country right now.
Yeah, because Costa Rica.
I've been scared to go to Costa Rica right now.
That place, that man, I forgot his name, but anyway, True North, the thing is that, like you said, your body remembers. Those cells are probably going to remember. You need to probably just completely destroy. I mean,
well, my body has already started healing itself. And I won't, and I have to give a shout out to the current people that I'm dealing with, Cancer Treatment of America. And I haven't really shared that I'm going through it again that much, but I'm not ashamed or anything. It's just one of those things where they really don't talk about it that much because I don't want to give it that much power. I'm doing really well. I'm still sick, but I'm not sick, if that makes sense. I don't like to term it that way.
No,
I'm a fighter, and I'm doing really, really well with it as far as doing what the doctors are telling me to do. And it's a battle, though. You really have to be on it. And I'm reading this new book called "Starve to Cancer" by Jane Leland. Oh my God, it's such a good book. And she talks about me take metformin, because I take metformin, which is another cancer killer. A lot of people don't know that you could take metformin and that kills cancer. So it dries up all the glucose in your system, which again,
now metformin is the one that's for diabetes, right?
Yes. I'm not telling people to run out and take it, but it does clear up the glucose in your system, which cancer actually thrives on. So
but I would metformin, then you can get, what is it, bitter.
You thinking of soursop? That's something I want to start taking.
Yeah, there's a couple herbs that I bought, but they were and that's what they're for, to dry up the sugar. It's a bitter.
No. Huh? Is it called soursop? Because I know soursop is another really good thing.
No, the ones that I'm talking about, it's bitter something, and then the other one is I can't think of them right now. But when we talk about the health stuff next time, I'll make sure I have the bottles with me and stuff.
Okay, and I'll bring my stuff out too, so we can have it where people can see it.
Yeah.
But there's so many things to cleanse your liver that you and actually cleansing your liver is a really good start for health. Because the liver, having a fatty liver is what causes a lot of health issues. And at the time, they found out that I had a fatty liver. And so they gave me bile salts, because remember you and I spoke about bile salts before, and just really cleansing all of that.
You know what? Honestly, to be honest with you, from every person and every book and every video that I've watched all these years, especially because over the past maybe 3 or 4 years, all I've really focused on is the water fasting information. And now I've learned a lot about sugar, because before I always ignored that because I still wanted to eat sugar, right?
Right.
So I always ignored the sugar thing, but the sugar is the number one problem, really.
It is. It actually is it's the main thing, and then everything else is added to that.
Yeah. And so everybody, I'm walking around, I'm overweight right now. I know that I have fat stored on my body just based on the fact that I eat sugar, and it's not, eliminated or whatever, either from working out. Because even when they were talking about weightlifting, if you lift weights, your body will start to burn off that sugar.
Your body will start, and your muscles, that's what muscles burn fat. And you really, if you can do it, just even doing anything, like for me, I try to walk, I try to ride bikes. Brian and I ride bikes. I'm trying to do stuff. I definitely want to get back into the gym.
But I think you're already there, because you know what to do. You don't eat a lot of sugar.
Right.
My thing is just do the water fast. That's what I would personally do.
I definitely want to do that. And for me right now, like when I started, like just like you said, it's so crazy. I gotten down to my ideal weight when I was with Ron and them, when I was working with them. And actually Tim Bilyeu too. If people know who Tim Bilyeu is, he's also one of the people I want to thank. Him and Lisa, his wife, Lisa Bilyeu, they also were big advocates of me as well. And Tom is huge on the internet.
Yeah.
He's huge. And Tom actually met with me, and he was very compassionate about my situation. Like I said, I was so blessed to meet these people.
Yeah, you were.
Don't get to meet these people, and here I am getting a chance one-on-one,
Yeah.
But Tom's wife, Lisa, was a godsend for me, because Brian had told her about my situation, and she went and told Tom and told Ron. And if it were not for Lisa Bilyeu, I would not be here today, probably, because she made it a point for me to get that opportunity. Wow. And but at the time, I got back down to almost the weight I was when we were working at LAPD. I really got, just from following the keto. And then, girl, I kid you not, the minute I went back to work, my weight shot back up.
Really?
I was like, wow. But the only good thing was it wasn't there long. And girl, once I, because I'm under treatment right now. So my weight dropped back down, which I'm happy. I'm about 10 pounds shy of where I was before.
Wow.
And you know what though? But that doesn't matter. The weight's not the issue. I don't want people to think, it's about the weight. And no, it's about eliminating all these bad things in your diet is what it is. And
do you ever do the saunas? What is it? The infrared sauna?
I've never done that, but you know what I did do, and there's a video on because I have a cancer site I don't call it cancer, but it's like a health and wellness site about saying cancer is just another letter that begins with the word C or the letter C. And it's on social media if people want to find it. But it's called cancer is just another word that begins with the letter C for those people that want to go to my site. But I did do the salt fast, the salt floating in Pasadena. I went to that. And when we're off, I'll send you, because I did a video of me going. And girl, it was so great. It was so great.
What is it?
Well, you go, and it's called Floats, like FLOATS. And you go in, you shower first, you take your hair down. I mean, I would recommend if you have, I don't have anything in my hair. I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Kind of how just take it off. Yeah, because you have to be completely submerged. And they give you goggles, and then but you're not gonna, you'll float because it's so much salt. And they'll put you in this room. You get your own private room, and then they put music on, and there's no lights. There's lights when you go in, but then they cut the lights off, and girl, it's like being in the womb. It's like,
wow.
You just sit in for about an hour.
On top of the water?
Yeah, you're in the water. You actually, you'll kind of, I guess you'll come to the top, but you'll be submerged, and it feels like, because you can't hear anything. All you hear is the music. But what it does is it calms you. It just gives you a calming effect. And because we live in a world that's so hectic and so busy, it just gives you that. And girl, this place is in Pasadena. It's called Floats, and I think it was like $30 or $40 an hour, which is cool. There's another one somewhere down in Orange County I want to go to that's a little cheaper, but I don't mind. I mean, I was introduced to it by another friend of mine, and we went there, but I want to do that again. I want to actually, maybe we can do a series of videos of that, of going, because my friend who does vegetarian keto, that's the attorney I know, we wanted to do a series of videos where she'll cook her vegetarian meal at her kitchen, and then we'll come here and cook a keto meal in my kitchen.
Okay.
I think we should do a video where we go to the fasting place, because we need to record that.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. And I'm planning on doing a whole series on nothing but health stuff.
And nobody's doing that. I mean, when I say nobody's doing that, I'm not saying there aren't people out there, because there's some really good people that I follow online that are doing some really great helpful things. Yeah. But I haven't seen anybody do those things. They won't. I never seen them go to a flotation tank thing, or go to, like we said, go to the water.
I have one channel that like I said, see, the thing is I'm
talking about people of color, mind you.
Right, exactly. So I had created one channel called Healthy Living Angela, and I had all the way back, I had a channel, and it's still there, called Juice Celebrity. But the thing is that one was all about juicing. Well, now I'm a little bit more evolved from juicing. Juicing is good, but not.
Yeah, it's in moderation. It's in moderation, And
so now it's kind of like, I just wanted to do, I may just do a, eventually I might just end. Well, okay, like for instance, with StreamYards, you can stream to multiple channels. So I could keep all those channels and stream to all of them. Or I could just brand myself as one thing and that's it, and then everything
figure it out. I think it's really great that the thing about being a filmmaker, and I know you want to touch on that briefly, is I'm not the best and I'm not the worst. I'm just me, and I love movies. I love making movies and TV. I love doing it. I love collaborating with people if I can. There's a lot of really great producers out there that I follow. And there's a lot of great directors that I follow and that I know personally that I've met. And they're all doing really great work. And I'm so proud of everybody that's out there grinding it, because it is a grind. And I mean, even though you'll see somebody with a directing gig on TV, they're still grinding, because then they get that one episode and then they have to go on to the next job, And but it's so rewarding, and it's what I really love doing. And like I said, this new movie that we wrote together, Brian did such an awesome job. I put the story together, and he wrote the script. I'm giving him credit for that, because he really did do a good job writing the script. But basically we were both so happy with how it turned out. Those are the things that I find joy in the most, of seeing my stories come to fruition. And I know that's probably what most filmmakers feel when they see their work. I mean, I never ever thought I would ever see my work up on the big screen in the movie. I never ever thought I would ever see that. And I mean, you know, even though and so I've been so blessed in my lifetime to have seen my work on television, because when we did the other documentary, and even before that, stuff I've worked on, but it wasn't mine. I was a producer on these TV shows. So, you know, but to have my own projects that I created to be on PBS was like, you know, amazing to me. And it was, you know, shown out here and lots of people saw it. That was like the Sunshine Noodles thing. And for Homer G. Phillips to be in the movie theaters, we've been having them at theater screenings and private screenings. I mean, seeing the audience just respond to it, that's been a blessing. I'm just beyond ecstatic for this new movie, because I can't even tell you where it's going to go. Once you see the clips, you'll know what I mean. I don't know where that's going to go. It's so good, and I'm really proud of it. So,
girl, I'm ready to do something next. I'm telling you, I'm starting with YouTube, but you
gotta do you and do what makes you happy. That's what I say. When you do anything that makes you happy, you'll do the best that you can do with it, and you'll be happy. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Angela, is being happy and being proud of your work. And you know, when we did The Color Medicine, the biggest accolade I got was seeing Dr. Robinson like emotional, you know, of saying, Joyce, thank you for doing this for me. And I know he's probably watching this too. But he's such a phenomenal man, and I'm so lucky that I know him, and I'm lucky to have a phenomenal father.
Let me ask you a question. Now, something popped in my head. Okay. Did I hear that there's some, or is there or isn't there something like, I don't know, is it a TV show or a series, something about some Black doctors, or I don't know, is it Black doctors, Black lawyers, Black something? Because or has anything like that been done?
Ever been? You mean there? As far as I know, a long time ago, there's a show that Morris Chestnut's on right now, but it's not. There's no show on right now that is just about Black doctors. No, it's not.
What is he on?
He's on some new show, but when people have seen our documentary, because we've actually been approached about turning it into a TV show, which is what we would like to do, and we're working towards that feverishly. But because we really do think it would be a hit show where you'd have all these Black doctors, you know, during that time talking about their life. I mean, not talking about their life, but reenacting all this stuff as a drama series. You know, that's something we would like to do. And we've been approached about that. But there was a show called The Nick that was on HBO or on Showtime. But when that show came out, people were calling us saying, wow, this is like what you guys want to do with The Color Medicine. But it was done in the 1800s, and it was surrounding a white doctor. But there was one Black doctor that worked with him. And it was similar to what we want to do, but not totally. But the avenue is definitely there. It's not impossible.
It's time to capitalize, do something with that.
Girl, we're trying. I'm telling you, it's like, that's why you have to make that next step in your life, and you know, every year you got left, move on and get stuff done, because you know, time waits for no one. You know,
that's right. It's time to get it pitched. I know there was a lady on YouTube that was talking about, she had an experience with a person, and I'm now, because I saw your film, I'm like, man, I need to tell her about you know, you guys work, because maybe you guys could do a documentary for her and her friend. or I could.
Well, we're always looking for projects. We're working right now with another gentleman, and I mean, you know, we're just in the process of gathering his information, and he's evidently someone who had a huge impact on Black history. We were approached just this past week for some gentlemen because they like the work we've done. So we and it isn't a sealed deal yet, but we've been approached about doing a story about this other gentleman who's been in like all the major magazines like Ebony and Jet and all this stuff.
Okay.
You know, but I don't know his full story, but I'm about to find out, you know. But we don't want to just get locked into doing documentaries.
Right. But hey, also, Ava DuVernay, I mean, that's well,
you know what? But you know, she does all kinds of stuff too. And the interesting thing, I'm working on another project I'm really excited about. It's called Estilo Americano. And like I said, I have no qualms about working on all kinds of, you know, different projects. And it is an amazing project. And a good friend of mine who thought of me, Miss Leticia Rodriguez, I'm giving her a shout out. She's an actress, and she was in a project that I worked on before with Damon Sylvester. And like I say about relationships, it's all about relationships and knowing people. And so anyway, she reached out to me, and I'm working with this amazing director. Her name is Miriam Khrushchev. I'm sure I'm screwing her name completely up. It's Kruishoop. She's Dutch. And she did an amazing film, if you get a chance to watch it, called Green Card Warriors. And you can actually watch it on YouTube. But it's a great movie. And we're working on that. And it's an all Hispanic cast.
Wow.
And it's an amazing project. And I'm working on that right now. And then I'm also working on the project I just mentioned, along with the Hidden Orchards thing. And there's some other stuff that we're doing too.
Now, Hidden Orchards is a movie.
Yes. That we're going to do two more We're going to do 2 more films. And we've been approached about turning that into a television series as well. Because but I like making the movies because it's very much along the line of Hallmark. When you see it, then you'll know. We'll talk about it offline. But once you see what you see, then you'll see what I mean.
Because I'm going to do something soon too. I just we'll talk about it. We need to do something. Yeah.
But I'm glad that you finally, and I'm sorry that it took so long because everything has been, you know, we just been grinding with this trying to get it out there. And, you know, you were such a great advocate from the very beginning. You know, you thought it was such a great idea. And like, I wish, you know, because you got me on Dr. Boyce Watkins' show, which was fantastic. And thank you, Dr. Boyce, for giving me the opportunity to talk about my show, talk about our film.
You know who else
I wish he could see it. I wish he could see it, you know.
I'm thinking I could probably get you with Paris Milan too.
Her name sounds familiar.
Look her up afterwards. But she's really big on YouTube now. She just blew up like over the last year, and she actually worked with Dr. Boyce for a minute also. But
you didn't.
Young lady, she's doing really well. She does like documentary voiceovers primarily, but I actually was planning to do an interview with her also on my channel. I just want to interview her, you know, about herself and what she does. But she would definitely be a good person to do a really good interview with you on some things. But yeah, there's so many opportunities on YouTube, and also just because my whole main goal is I want to do YouTube, but I also want to do some like a series or either some almost like Lifetime movies, but that have a more diverse cast. You know what I mean?
You know what I tell people is, and that's a great avenue to get into. Even if it's just on the producing level, you know, you don't want to write the script, or I mean, because it's a lot of work trying to write a script, trying to, you know, get the people together, get the crew, get the locations, and you know, it's just a lot of work, and it does cost money. I mean, I've got a couple of scripts that are optioned right now that are really great scripts that we're working on, really great projects. But it costs money to get them done. And it's unfortunate that it's that way, but that's just how it is. And just the grind. But what I would suggest, you know, starting off where you're at, doing your YouTube stuff, get a structure with it where, like you say, you get your interviews together and you'll start to gather your guests. And, when you start getting monetization from it, then you can take that money and use it. But I tell people all the time, it's just like investing in anything. There's nothing wrong with investing in movies. Like, you just have to know who to deal with.
Exactly.
You just got to know the crazy people that are just trying to rob you blind.
Exactly.
Filmmakers who are really out there doing stuff, I think it's great that there's starting to be a renaissance among African-American filmmakers that are rallying together finally to say, hey, you have a really good project. Do you want me to help you with that? And that's what we were fortunate enough to do with this project. And a lot of times the very first one out the gate, you may not make any money, but after that, you'll start to get a little incentive, but you just got to do it. That's the thing.
Because remember when I was telling you about all the, what is it, Nollywood, the Nigerian?
Yes, they have great movies. I always end up watching a lot of African movies.
I watched so many of the Nigerian movies, and when I first started watching them, they weren't all that great. I mean, the film quality definitely wasn't that great. I mean, it was a few that were okay, but most of them were not good sound or film. But the stories were funny or they were good. It was still a good storyline. It kept me entertained, and they were on Netflix. My thing is they must have gotten a distribution deal from someone. Now, whether or not they got a lump sum of money up front, or I know sometimes they tell you, okay, we're going to,
well, there's different.
Make our money, then we'll give you some money.
It depends on your, who's in the film. I mean, there's just so many avenues in regards to your distribution of how it gets distributed. There's different packages for all of that. If you don't have any,
you know what, Joyce, to be honest with you, some of those movies that I've watched, let's say, I don't know if they got paid or not, but they were on Netflix. Now, my thing is, ever since I saw that one, I've gone back to see more, and those actors are now very identifiable to me. I know who they are. To me, they're like
they're on other projects, right? They started off in
European black stars from London that I never knew about, and even whether they're getting paid or not, they're still a celebrity in my eye. You know what I mean? So they're gonna eventually get to that next level. So sometimes you may sell something and may not make anything, but just the fact that it's on the platform is all that really matters.
Exactly. It helps you to get recognized to move on to other things. And that's what, Brian and I, and that's the thing, people sometimes look and say, oh, you guys are like an overnight success. And we're not even at that point yet, but we've been grinding for a minute. Like I said, ever since you know me, I've always been, doing my film projects. And I worked for PBS, I worked for, BT, I worked for E, I worked for all these big entities, but I was working on other people's stuff, and I got paid really well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bad. But at the same time, I felt like, this is great, but, I don't know if I probably didn't utilize those avenues as well as I should have. There are a lot of people who have it down to a science. They know whose butt to kiss, I should say.
Yes.
I just didn't do that. I just was like, I want to do my own stuff. And like people tell me now, they go, well, you worked for those entities. Why don't you go back to those entities? I was like, why? Why would I go back? I said, if I go back to a BET or something like that, I'm taking them a show that I did. I'm not going to go back and ask them for a job. I mean, and it's not that it's a negative, because it's not that. It's just that I've gotten to the point where I should be able to walk in with a product, and they would probably think, well, Dag, you used to work here. Did you not learn anything to go make your own movie? You know what I mean? I would think they would expect me to come back with a show myself or a movie. I don't think they'd expect me to just come back up in there and ask for a job,
Right.
And I don't really want
the small-minded, small thinking, limited thinking type people who
and there's nothing wrong with that. If anyone's listening that wants to be a producer or director, there's nothing wrong with working for those entities, because you do learn a lot. And you also learn a lot doing it yourself. And you have to fail in order to succeed. And that's another thing people need to know. People think that you just come out the gate, like when they see Lena White or whatever her name is, the one that she was Ava DuVernay's assistant. You know, she did grind a bit. You know, I don't think she grinded as much as a lot of people had to grind, but that's just because she came up during a time when, like the Ava DuVernays, they recognized to help each other. Do you know what I'm saying? So she didn't have to grind probably as much as someone like myself or someone else, because people, when I was starting to do film and stuff, and other people, you know, you're kind of told, hey, you know, just be glad to be in the room. Don't help anybody else. You know, it's the wrong way to think. But now a lot of younger people are reaching out and helping each other. And I think that is why you're seeing the rise, like a Issa Rae and people like that coming up a lot sooner than other people. And Issa's done her time, you know, but she still hasn't been, because she's just turned 30, isn't it? Did she just turn?
What happened with her? Did she just like write something and then next thing you know she got a Netflix?
No. I mean, if you researched her, she's actually, I mean, I'm proud of her. I don't know her. One day I'm sure I'll hopefully meet her. Just to say, you know, congratulations, you know, and she may end up being in a project of mine. I don't know. But I know she started off doing her YouTube videos a long time ago. And she said she had like 2 or 3 failed. That's what I was saying to you. You know, she had about 2 or 3 failed web series before she got, you know, not insecure, but awkward black girl off and she still did a bunch of those. And it just so happened that she was out there doing it. And again, timing is everything. Because at the time when she was doing it, YouTube was just starting. Like I said, everything, if you don't, you know, it's all about the timing.
I gotta look her up because I don't know. Now, what was she actually acting on YouTube, or was she just?
She was in her. She was the star of her YouTube
she
video.
Did her own like a show. Okay.
And she just did it online. And Pharrell, you know, the singer Pharrell, he tuned into her. And once Pharrell opened up his access of people and said, hey, look at this girl's show. I
need to look that up because see, my thing
there's many documentaries online about her.
Yeah, I never really heard or saw what she was doing on YouTube. I want to go back and look and see what she was doing. Because I know that first show that she came out with, wasn't it where
Awkward Black Girl? You talking about Awkward Black Girl? Or
no, I'm talking about something that was like centered around Baldwin Hills and the LA lifestyle.
That's Insecure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the show that's her biggest show to date. She's also behind Black Comedy Sketch Show, which is actually pretty good. And now she's got another show coming out, and I can't think of the name of it. But you know, I mean, I would be doing the same thing. It's like, you know, you got to build yourself.
She was on YouTube. Was she on there with other people? Like, did she have a cast, or was it just her?
For which show are you talking about? For Awkward Black Girl?
When she first came out on YouTube and she was doing
that was with Awkward Black Girl. Yeah, she had a cast and stuff. But it's very organic. I mean, it's very, you know, like you said, the production value is probably not that great.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. She was out there doing it when no one else was doing it. And it's like I said, if you're going to start doing your thing, and I say that to other people out there, just start doing it. And it doesn't have to be great, but just get out there. Because there's a lot of filmmakers that we personally support that are doing their thing now. There's a couple that we follow, and their films are cool. They're fun, you know. They do these movies and they crank them out. And my thing is, you know what? That's what they want to do. And they have their own niche and they got their own following, and they're doing really great. They're but there's a lot of people out there doing stuff like that. I just like to support people who are doing stuff. Like another big supporter that I really am supporting of is Chuck Holly. I know I'm not saying Chuck's name right, but he did Sticky the Kitty. He helped save this cat, and then now he's got books, and we're trying to get this movie made with him. And you know, there's so many people out there doing so many creative and great things that, you know, it's just, you just want to give him an opportunity to shout out, because it's rough out there to get your stuff out there. And the fact that he's actually doing stuff around the world. I mean, a lot of people don't even have that opportunity. So I'm just happy to be in that circle of people. But I'm just glad that God has given me a chance to still be here long enough to see all this stuff come to fruition. You know, that's what makes my day. Every day when I wake up, I actually open my eyes and I just thank God that I'm still here. I'm still healthy, you know, enough to get out of bed and you know, just all the things that people take for granted. I try not to take for granted that I can still walk, I can still, you know, hear, see, you know, breathe, you know, because a lot of people that, especially when they get cancer, you can't, it's so devastating. There's a lot of things that a lot of people don't do. And my bigger shout out I forgot is Cancer Treatments of America. That is who I am dealing with now, and they are just phenomenal. I love them. Love them.
That's good to know.
Yeah, they're really good, and it took me a long time to get a good treatment center too.
Right.
And I was blessed to be able to do that, because I was able to have the insurance to choose who I wanted instead of going to like the typical HMO, you know. And I'm not saying HMOs are bad, but I always say HMOs are good. Like if you broke like little things, like you got a cold, but if you fight cancer, I don't know. But you know, it's different for everybody. It's different for everybody, you know.
Yeah, you need that PPO, girl. Definitely.
I'm telling you, you need to be able to go who you feel comfortable with.
I know. I said I have 2 cancer policies. One with
Did you get Aflac?
I have Aflac and Colonial. But the problem with me is that I'm so against so many things. But then I know they do have other therapies that are, you know, that are better. But one thing they told me, I think Aflac or Colonial told me that sometimes they do, they'll allow you to do experimental. So I was like, oh, if I did ever get cancer, then I would, the first place I'm going is either to Mexico to the Gerson's clinic. I'm gonna be out there.
Well, you know, you just have to, like I said, you really have to, and it's funny because it's different for everybody, because like I was so scared of chemotherapy, and
I think it's good.
But when I got chemo, I mean, I had to have chemo, and I was so scared, and I had to get a port put in, which I have, and it's weird, you know. It felt, when I initially had to get it, I was like, oh my God, I was so scared because I didn't know what to, and you hear all these horror stories about chemotherapy and stuff, and people are probably like, how'd you have chemo and you still got your hair? It's because I did the cooling caps, which a lot of people don't know about. I learned that dealing with Quest in the beginning, because when I was initially going to let me rephrase that. I did not learn that from Quest. I actually learned that from a dear friend of mine. Her name is Anne, and Anne is in she's in New York, and she's such a cool friend of mine, and she's an attorney. And I met her online because I read one of her scripts. She's an amazing writer, and we became friends. And that was when I first got diagnosed. I was telling her about it, and she says, "Oh, have you tried the cooling caps?" And I was like, "What are cooling caps?" And girl, when I looked it up, there's different companies that do it, but you put this big thing on your head, and it's super cold. It's like 35 degrees below zero, and oh my God, it's so cold. But the chemotherapy can't penetrate cold, like freezing cold. It won't go through your cells. So if you want to keep your hair, that's how you do it. It's not cheap. It's not cheap.
Wow.
But I was glad to do it. And the reason I did it was because for me, you know, and I know a lot of people go through it too, especially the second time around. You get sad, and you know, because you think like, God, I did everything. You thought you did everything right, and you're trying to, you know, fight it and do the best you can, and yet the cancer still comes back, and you're like, what do I do? You know, and so the cooling caps were really good. It helped me to stay normal.
Yeah.
And
well,
so
we're gonna go and
asking me questions like, "Oh, you have cancer," that kind of stuff.
We're gonna go to the True North facility.
Mm-hmm.
At least we got to do at least a 10-day water fast. And
at the institute, we could stay a week, I think, right? Or you just go for a few days. I think you could just choose the number of days, right?
Yeah, you can choose, but the thing is they recommend at least 10 days because
really? I thought it was 5 days.
Well, maybe it is. I can't remember.
Girl, 10 days, I don't know if I can go 10 days. I can do 5, but 10 days, just on, I don't know, 10 days.
Well, you're still slim, but if a lot of, I gotta send you. Do you ever watch? Okay, there's one guy on YouTube. He has his channel is called the Fasting Fat Man. He did 150 days straight, and then stopped. He went keto carnivore for about a month or two. Then he went back to his fast. Now he's like 200 pounds or 220 pounds, but he was 500 and something when he started.
Wow.
But he lost all his weight. He didn't have cancer, but my point is, your body, your body, the thing is that with water fasting and just being in ketosis, and then going into autophagy, your body is going to start finding all the tumors.
It'll eat up all of those bad.
Yes. Yeah, it's just going to eat it up like Pac-Man. So the thing is that's the key. I think that's the ultimate.
And, I'm willing to do it. I'm totally down to do it. I want to do it, and I want to record it. And I definitely want to do it. And there's a bunch of other things that I'm doing. And that's the thing. I want to give a shout out to like all the different people that have been helping me to try to stay on point. I want to give a shout out to Katara and to Shoniji, because they had me on their show. They have like a show similar to yours, but they do it out of their shop. And they're so sweet. I mean, these women are amazing. They have
the cupcake ladies. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that project, but I didn't.
They're in the Baldwin Hill. You should go over there and tell them that you know me. They're so sweet, and they are so successful. I'm so proud of them, and I've known them for many years, and they're just doing it. But they have been, because we all get busy, and I don't get mad at people if I don't hear from them for a while or whatever, because people got to do what they got to do. But they've always been a big supporter of me and my health. And Katara actually helped us out with the movie, so you'll see her too. But I want to say she's been a big Katara. So Shoniji, my friend who helped me with the cooling caps.
Wow.
Like I said, so many people, my friend Freddie, my friend Sandra Claiborne, who used to work with us at LAPD, my friend Monica Smith, all of these people, Monica's family. I mean, these are all these people that have just been a big part of my life. And Rebecca and Dr. Robinson and the Tallies and Judy and Dawn and Charlotte and Kim. I'm naming all these people that have just been a big part of my life. And my family. And then Brian's family, his mom and dad, his brother, his niece, his daughter, his ex Linda, and her husband Jose. Girl, I could not be blessed enough. I don't care if I never do another thing in my life. I'm good. I don't know. People could say, how could you be so happy and going through what you're going through? But I am. I'm just so happy that I'm here and that I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Girl, I couldn't be happy.
Have you ever seen or talked or watched any of Dr. Lorraine Day's videos?
I don't think I've heard of them. I'd have to look.
Dr. Lorraine Day. She wrote a book called Cancer Doesn't Scare Me Anymore. And she is a famous surgeon. When she found out she had breast cancer, she refused to get treatment. I think what ended up
happening, I probably have heard of her because I read up on all those people. And like I said, when I found out when I did it the first time, I did beat it. But the thing that I learned, and this is really big for people who are going through it a second time or a third time, the book I'm reading now called Starve Cancer Cells, by Jane McLeland. What Jane found out, and it makes so much sense. She was saying about the reason why cancer returns is because, when they give you chemo and all this other stuff, it kills the rapidly dividing cells of cancer. But no one attacks the stem cells of cancer, and they just lie dormant in your system. So what you have to do is, that's why cancer comes back, is because of the stem cells. So you have to deal with the stem cells. And so that's what I'm doing now. And I'm so blessed that my doctors at Cancer Treatments of America are actually considering helping me to put that cocktail together to help me with that. And and the fact that they're even open to doing that is amazing. And that's kind of where I'm at now. But Jane found out that if you take, and that's a really great thing that I know I'm on the right path, because she takes metformin like I do. She said green tea extract. Remember the green tea I was talking about? But I have to take decaffeinated green tea because regular green tea causes my tumor to grow, and I can't do that. So decaffeinated green tea, metformin, and then she mentioned statins, like what people take for cholesterol. And she said that combination, and then I'm also taking one a day. I'm taking low dose aspirin because of the inflammation. That they say if you take aspirin a day, like one a day, it helps you with your inflammation. So I'm taking that. Girl, I'm just taking so many supplements. I'm taking the Coryllis. Like you said, when we do another one, I will bring out all of the supplements I'm taking.
Right. What didn't you? Am I the one that told you about mistletoe, or did you tell me about mistletoe?
No, I didn't tell you about mistletoe. You might have told me, but I have heard of I haven't heard about taking mistletoe, but I've heard of frankincense and myrrh. Like you're supposed to be taking frankincense, like the oil. I think I've heard of that. And you might have told me about that. But have you ever watched those videos? The guy does the truth about cancer.
Yeah.
He talks about that stuff. My thing is, there's so much information out there that you just have to take it all in. And
I'm not, of course, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not prescribing anything, whatever. You don't have to.
But you have to put that disclaimer, because people will come back and say, well, you told me to take this. It's like, no, I didn't.
But, from everything that I've seen and heard, when it comes to getting into autophagy and getting to that total next level, it comes with the water fasting. When it comes to even keto, because keto basically it's like a mimic. You're mimicking keto, mimicking or fasting mimicking diets. They have fasting mimicking diets, keto diet, or water fasting, and all of those mimic ketosis, or being they put you in ketosis. They get rid of the sugar, but to get to that next level of autophagy, they say it's the weightlifting, because weightlifting it takes you, you got 36 hours of fat burning and 36 hours of getting rid of sugar. Even after you start working out, your body starts eating up all those dead cells, all that old cancers, all the tumors, all the whatever, because apparently your body is intelligent and your body knows what's wrong. So if you have a scar from when you were 5 years old on your leg, you have a cancerous tumor, you got some virus in your body that's been there. Let me tell you that your body is supposed to be so intelligent that it knows where to go first and what to fix first. So that's why I believe trying to do multiple water, even like you said, you don't want to do a 10-day water fast. Maybe you want to do a 5-day. So you start 5-day. And you go back and maybe you do green juices and stuff like that, but not the sugar stuff. Right. And then you keep your body in ketosis. And I really believe that that's what's going to reverse the, from what I've heard, that's what's going to work on those stem cells and actually rebuilding your body to brand new. Because if all your organs are rebuilt every month, or different.
Well, that's what the doctors
said.
They just said that, even like for chemo and everything, that everything, your hair, all that stuff, even though it does come back, it takes a minute to come back, but it basically, your cells rejuvenate themselves every month or so. So it's does
and
it.
and that's why it's so important what you put in your body every day, because you can build a sick body or you can build a healthy body according to what you feed it. And
I
that's
noticed for
and
myself when I don't
when you
eat all the
tell
bad
me,
stuff. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. That's why when you would tell me that you have cancer, I never even see it like, like, oh my God, like I don't see it like that. I don't know why. Now, my father had.
It's funny that you say that because a lot of people said that to me. I've had people say that to me. I don't know what it is when they see me with cancer. They go, "It just don't look like you don't." I don't get that from you. Like, you
Well,
don't.
I don't see you. Okay, this is how I see it, period. Because even my father had cancer, but he accepted it. And maybe his was too far gone. And he, I tried to get him to do, because I was going to try to get him to do all carrot juices. So because that's what Dr. Lorraine Day did. So I was making him a bunch of carrot juice and stuff, and he was drinking it a little bit, but carrot juice has a lot of sugar. But
you can't do carrots at all.
Yeah, but apparently she got rid of hers with carrot juice.
Right, because maybe her body,
maybe her body needed that.
Different, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is different.
But the thing is that I don't really see cancer as a death sentence unless you don't think that you can't. If you buy into it, I see it as
if you're defeatist, if you accept it and
exactly
and go, woe is me, and I'm gonna die, and
I don't see it. If you do that,
you will die.
I truly believe that our body is like a chemistry experiment. I mean, honestly, I see our body like it's all about formulas. And if you know what you need to do, like you said, you need to go to the doctor and get your blood test to see how much sugar you got, how much you can get one of those scales that tests your water, your hydration, your body fat, your weight. And I'm actually going to order one of those on Amazon too. But you, like you said, you doing the alkaline water. Alkaline water is excellent. You need to stay in. You need to keep your alkalinity proper.
Because cancer can't live in an alkaline body.
Exactly.
I know that I had started drinking the Kangen water when I first started getting my treatments with my chemo, and the doctor told me, she said, "Oh my God," she said, when they gave me the chemotherapy, I had Perjeta, Herceptin, and I forget what the chemical was that the chemo was made out of. But my tumor markers went from 432 or 86 or something like that. I have to look it up on my phone. But my numbers went from 486, I think, down to 21. And they were like in barely 6 months. And she was like, "That's insane." And she just said, "That's amazing," my body.
Are you staying in are you always on a keto diet now?
No, like I said, I had to really fight the urge to be pitiful, because unfortunately when I went back to work, and girl, it's just that whole lifestyle, of how it is here. We're in LA, we're grinding every day, you're jumping on the freeway, and you got to get dressed for work, you got to wear your suit, you got to wear, and then I'm working on projects for work. And I mean, it just kind of made me very I don't know what the term is. You get stressed out, because you got to go deal with all this stuff, dealing with people. But here's my numbers that I have. I started my treatment on May 13th. And my tumor markers were 436.2. And in June, it dropped to 178.7. Wow. July, it dropped to 45.9. August, it dropped to 36.5. Then my last day in August, because I go every 3 weeks, and it dropped to 32.9. And my last treatment in October, it dropped to 28.5. And I just had another treatment in November. And I think it's like still in the 20s. I can't remember what it is, but that's just. And
that's excellent. Now, don't they have, because I remember they were giving my father something where it's more of a healthier form of chemo. It's not, it only attacks the bad stuff, or it knows.
I don't know what the formula is, but I do know that they do. There's you can do a lower dose of chemo as opposed to a higher dose. Some people are getting it every other week. like some of the people that I spoke to that were at the Cancer Treatments of America, they were getting chemo. Like some people were getting it every week, some people were getting it every 2 weeks, you know. Yeah, so everybody was different, but for me, I got mine
and everybody probably has a different cocktail too, right?
Yeah, and it all depends
now,
on what type of cancer you have.
But with the Cancer Treatments of America, do they? It sounds like from their commercials that they actually help you with your diet as well.
Yeah,
so
they do. You see a series of doctors, which is really good. And the funny thing, you get acupuncture there, you get nutrition there. They put you. I mean, they take you through the whole. And they do the genetics, they check your genetics. But what I like about the fact is that they're all in one facility, so you don't have to go to all these different doctors different places. But the fact that they were very open and that they're very much aware of all of the latest, you know, findings, that they're not stuck in that. Because my doctor, Dr. Lynch, she's so nice, and she's, you know, like when I talked to her about, like, even when I told her about this latest book that I was reading, she's like, oh, well, maybe we can see if some of that stuff we could try if, you know, if it's legal, you know. So my whole thing is, you know, that's all I wanted. And like, I hate to say it, I did not like the City of Hope. I went to the City of Hope and I don't care. I don't like them. They were horrible to me. I didn't like the treatment I got.
What about people? A lot of people talk about CBD. Do you have
that's really good too. I'm currently not. I have a little bit of the gummies because when my cancer was a little bit, I was having pain at first, so I was taking a little bit of the CBD to help with the pain. But I no longer have that pain. So, but supposedly it's the HTC. I forget what you call it, THC or something like that. That you're supposed to have. And I did have one syringe of that that I got in Oregon. And then you put a little bit on your tongue, and that is actually supposed to help with the cancer as well. You could take, the best thing I find is to take it all, you know? Girl, because it can't do any water, you know. It can't do any harm more than what you're already dealing with.
That's true. It's just herbs. All it is natural medicine. It's
and I want to get back into taking berberine too, because I used to take berberine.
That's what I was going to talk about. Yes, I bought some of that. You're the one that told me about it, and that's what I bought.
Yeah, because I was reading in Jane's book about berberine, and when I was working with Quest, they had me on berberine, bile salts, vitamin D3 infused with K. And the reason why you take D3 infused with K is because of your bones, so you don't lose stuff in your bones. Iron. They had me on the berberine. I mean, it was a whole bunch of stuff I was taking, and it definitely made a difference. But I just have to order the berberine through Amazon or whatever.
Now, has anyone ever told you about how selenium is excellent for?
I think so, yes. Well, I know magnesium is really good. So selenium, I don't know.
Most people don't talk about selenium, but that's more of the, like, if there, I have a book called, it's like Black Genetic Books. It's a Black genetics book, and they talk about selenium, and that Dr. Sabi talked that
that's another
highest level of selenium. We need to stay away from nitrogen-based foods. Anything that's nitrogen-based is pretty much anything in a box or a can. Anything in a box or can, if it's not fresh. And girl,
it's processed. So when you're eating processed food, then you're gonna get. It's better to eat fresh and organic if you can. And I know that's very difficult. And that's the thing. Like I said, the society is set up for you not to have good food, you know,
everything.
Girl, I can tell you
now. I don't know if you saw my video. I have a video that I just posted where it's just a compilation of me going out to my little garden, because even though I have a condo, we have some gardening spaces over here that I rent out.
You have there's like a community garden. That's really cool, though.
And I have my own spot, and I grew. I tried to grow a bunch of stuff, but this is the first, even though I have I got this certification in in gardening and horticulture from UCLA, and trying to do this. I did a landscape architecture program, but I switched over to gardening and horticulture. So I finished it, but I really wasn't a gardener, right? I just know the science behind it, behind plant biology and all this stuff. But the thing is yeah, I just went to Home Depot, girl, bought some seeds and just threw them in.
Saying, girl, you could just go out there and just start. Here's look my guest on here.
I'm almost scared to go out there, but last week I had some huge collard greens. I had I nearly tore one off, and
how come you haven't made any collard greens? Did you go ahead and did you make them?
Yeah, I just tore one of them. I don't know why I did this, because see, what I should have been doing is picking them from the bottom up as they started to grow. But what I did was I just tore off the whole thing from the root, one of the plants. But I still got a whole bunch of collard greens out there. Hopefully they're still good, because I haven't been out there in like a week. But the thing is,
you know what? And that's really good for you. And girl, make some collard greens with I
didn't eat them. I just made the soup like pot liquor, and then I just drink it, because my mom told me, she gave me an article years ago about how collard greens are excellent for women's female organs. They're like supposed to be really, really good for your female organs. I'm like, okay. So I just drink the collard green juice. I'll like blend it up.
You put like apples or something in it so that it has some sweetness to it or something?
No. I put, what I do when I'm at home, a lot of times I'll bring out my crock pot, because I had this real big, nice stainless steel crock pot, and I'll put them in the crock pot and just leave them there overnight or whatever, and maybe put some turkey in it or something to make it taste good. Basically, I just drink the juice. I just do it for that reason. But sometimes instead of, because back in the day, we would always, or our families would have us boil these big old pots of collard greens, right?
Yeah.
I don't really do that hardly anymore. What I do is I'll cut them up and kind of stir fry them. And that way I feel like I'm still getting the nutrition out of them. So
I've never heard of them not giving you still any nutrition if you put them in a big pot, but
because anything that goes over 120 degrees heat,
then you're going to lose all of the benefits from it, right?
Pretty much dead. That's why I kind of do a little stir fry with some butter or something and whatever. But when it comes to the juice, it's still minerals. You're still getting all those minerals, and so.
Well, see, those are the kind of recipes, like that's what I want to do is have different people come to my house, and we do like a little thing in the kitchen of, these.
Oh, I got to show you something. Wait, hold on. I got to show you one thing. Now, okay, I just got this today also on Amazon, and I'm going to try it. It's this.
What is it?
Astragalus root, and this
I've heard of that.
It's really good for immune support, and it also is excellent to lengthen your telomeres. Now, your telomeres, because this is something new that I'm researching, the longer your telomeres are, that determines how long you're basically supposed to live. So if you have short telomeres, that means your life is pretty much short.
Where are your telomeres at? Where is that?
I don't know. I think it has something to do with the stem cells or something. It's something like a stem cell. I don't know if it's in the stem cell. I don't know, but your telomeres somewhere in your body determine how long of a lifespan you're supposed to have. And this is supposed to lengthen your telomeres. There's other things that you can take that are supposed to do it also. So I got that. Then I bought, because I hate, for some reason I don't like taking a lot of pills or whatever.
I don't like taking a lot of pills either, but I have to take them. But
I got the liquid vitamins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, liquefied multivitamin and mineral, whatever.
That's good.
Yeah. So,
and as long as, like I said, it's good that you probably won't get anything because you're being proactive. Girl. And all I can say is that people have to be proactive with their health. And that's all you can do is be proactive. Like, how people, like, you could take a challenge. Like right now, there was a post about taking a 30-day challenge of like cutting sugar, cookies, all those things out of your, and you know what? And even if you could just do it for those few days, it's better than not doing it at all. Because like if you could do it for 30 days and then you go back to eating and then you do it again for 60 days, take a break and then go back. I mean, you're training your body to do without all that.
Yeah.
And it definitely makes a difference. And like I the only side effects that I really got from chemo is I did have a little bit of gum bleeding, a little bit. I noticed I have little darkness around my eyes, just a little bit. And again, considering that I had chemo, and people tell me, wow, you look good for someone that's had chemo. I try not to do too much. My nails didn't really turn dark. I got a couple of dark nails, just a teeny bit. People can't see them. Just a teeny bit, like in one of my nails turned dark. But my nails were a little bit fragile, more than they normally would be. But I could still run them under hot water, but like they would just peel real easy. My skin on my feet felt a little drier. And then I got, what they call it, I forget the term is neuropathy. That's what it is. On my toes, I got like 2 or 3 of my toes would have that. I could walk, but it just felt like they were numb, And, that was really pretty much it. I didn't feel overly tired, but I had to rest because you have to, and that's the reason why I could not work, and I still can't really work. I just have to take it easy because your body, it's really trying to repair itself. And because it's trying to repair itself, you have to be very careful about stressing yourself out, And I also I forgot to thank Benny. Benny's probably not watching this, but he was my contractor and he helped me with some stuff with my house, and he's so sweet. And he, definitely helped me a lot during my chemo treatments. He would bring me stuff and, just a sweet.
I thought you were in another state because the last time I talked to you, I thought you said you were somewhere.
Well, we when we had the screenings, we were doing a little bit of traveling, but that was before I think when I took off for work, for the treatment,
I thought the cancer
we had to go back to St. Louis for a screening. And then when we made the movie, I didn't really work. I just basically was just there because I can't really do a lot of stuff. But I was there for the filming. But that's it though. I didn't really do anything because everybody's like, oh, well then you should be able to work. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I mean, it's really more of a therapeutic thing and my doctor doesn't want me doing anything. She wants me to just chill. So I can be all excited and everything, but I just really shouldn't be doing a whole lot of stuff. And that's because your body has to heal itself. And you got to allow it. And believe me, the type of person I am, and I'm sure the type of person you are, we're very active and we want to do a lot of stuff. And so it drives me crazy not being able to do a lot, but I have to lay still. I hate it, but I have to that's why I'm reading as much as I'm doing, trying to do all the things that I need to do, taking the supplements, eating the right foods, but just chilling. And I'm just blessed that I'm able to do that. Because a lot of people, girl, they have cancer, they have to go to work, they can't take off, they can't do anything, And I feel so bad for people that have to do that. They have to go to work and then still go get their treatments and go back to work the same day. And a lot of people, they were like, oh, I didn't mind, getting chemo and going back to work. I was like, well, you know what? You can go do that because I want my body to heal completely. And I was reading that in Jane's book too, because she said that was the mistake that she made. And we both made that same mistake. When I went back to work, that was the worst thing that I could have ever done. I should have never did that. And she said that she had a business and she did the same thing and her cancer came back.
Wow.
And you have
well, the good thing is, to replenish your body after your treatments with good, healthy stuff. So
So
Because I think
see how
that
it
might
goes.
make a big difference with some people they never did eat healthy. So
Right.
I'm not
And
going to.
we were healthy even when we were younger. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I remember we were always working out and always doing stuff. And people thought we were crazy, but I would go work out after I did my walk at work. I would go to the gym. I was always working out. And I think that has really saved my life is the fact that I did.
Like, girl, we were the bomb. I don't see I always tell people I was like one of the when I see these shows with the Atlanta Housewives and the Hollywood that all this, I'm thinking I was already doing that like 30 years.
Yeah, thank you. We were doing all that stuff years ago.
Everybody was upset that remember like back then people would be like, oh, why are you wearing a weave or why are you wearing makeup?
Girl, yeah, because back then
we were fly.
Yeah, because I mean, I always had a lot of hair anyway.
Exactly.
Because I didn't feel like doing my own hair. But I started wearing weaves way before people thought they were popular and they were expensive. So I got really good weaves.
And nails, oh my God. Like I used to be fly all the time. And now I'm not like that hardly anymore. But that's just because I got too much to think about. I ain't got time to be thinking about getting my nails.
Fine. Don't worry. The thing that you come to terms with is, we all have is being comfortable in your own skin. That's what it is. You've gotten to that age where you can go into a room. And I mean, I know that's how I am now. I put on what I got to put on. And like, even with me wearing my hair back, people are like, oh, don't you want to get your weave again? I was like, I'll get my weave when I do. But this is me. This is my real, this is who I am. And my thing is, I'll go into any room looking just like this with my face made up or whatever. And if you don't like it, too bad, because this is who I really am. And I'm confident enough that I look as good as anybody else in the room. And even if I don't, it doesn't matter. That's how I feel about myself. Yeah. And that's where you're at right now. You don't have to feel like you're in competition with all of these other people. You don't, and that's where I'm at now. I don't feel that I have to be a certain way. I just have to be happy to be me. And I'm happy with who I am. And that's really where you're at. That's why you don't, you got to run out and worrying about all these things. When I see all those shows, and that's what those people are there for. They're entertaining the public. Mm-hmm. And that's cool. It's like those shows, they're just, all they did was replace soap operas.
I like that one show, The Love and Marriage in Huntsville. That one, that's a good one.
I haven't watched stuff in so long. Because I'm trying to really focus on, because we got so much stuff that we're trying to do. I'm trying to leave a legacy of projects, and so I just trying to get a lot done. And I don't even have the time hardly anymore to watch any of those shows and stuff.
I know, girl.
They're fun. I catch up when I can,
Yeah, I don't watch it at all. What I do is I'll wait until the whole season is over, and then I'll
you'll binge it. Yeah, you'll binge watch it or something, right? Mm-hmm. But so I was gonna ask, did you have any people that came that chimed in that had a question? Because we were just talking. We don't even.
I know we're just talking and talking. You know what? No, there's one person that's in here now. It was a few other people that were here. The guy that I was telling you about, he didn't come on. But yeah, they'll catch it later. And somebody said something, but then.
What did they say?
I responded. They just said hi, like hi to the chat.
Oh, okay.
They just said hi, because sometimes people just come in and they'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
But
I know we covered a lot of topics.
I know.
You said, "Well, dang, y'all was just talking like y'all talking on the phone."
Right. Because some people, I saw that some people were coming in, but then they would leave, and then they would come back, then they would leave. It would
maybe, the number. I don't know what it is that they thought. Maybe because we probably talk longer than we probably, maybe because But I don't know. We talked about the things that they wanted to hear, maybe, and like you said, we probably get and I haven't looked at my social media, so some people may respond. Yeah. But people have heard so much about this film, and they're probably like, "Oh, that movie, yeah, I've heard about that." But at the same time, it's good to hear your perspective of the film because you hadn't had a chance to watch it, and then with all the other projects that we're doing, I think that's where it's gonna really we're gonna get a lot of response with the new project.
Yeah.
Because people are ready for something new, because this film has been out for a while too. So
the one that you're gonna that I'm gonna watch after this, is that a whole film or is it a clip?
No, the film is still currently in post-production, but we did have a few scenes, and that's what you're gonna get a chance to check out. And but those scenes, like I said, we can't really show. We're trying our best not to, because the cast, everybody wants to see stuff, and we would love to show it to them, but people get excited and they got to show their family and friends, and before you know it'll be leaked out somewhere. So we're trying not to show it to anybody. So you're very privileged to get a chance.
Okay.
To it. It only went to distributors, people that we were trying to sell it to, and like I said, we were fortunate enough to get it sold. So it's gonna launch hopefully by April of next year. And girl, that's right around the corner, because we only got 2 weeks left of December. I can't believe it, you know. But they need 2 or 3 months, because we're doing a lot of promotion ahead of it. And then on top of that, we want to have the premiere in either Atlanta or Fayetteville, where we shot the film, in either late February, early March. So people were asking us, when are we going to do the premiere? For all you people who might be listening, we're trying to plan the premiere in late February, early March. So just put that on your calendar. And it's like I said, you never get any breaks. I have to get some help and some teams of people to help me put together premiere and all that. And it's going to be in Atlanta, because that's where the most of the cast and the crew are, in Atlanta. So that's what, and then we'll do one here too. So you know, that'll be after the fact. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
That's for Hidden Orchard Mysteries, which I'm so excited about.
Wow, that's awesome!
And of course, Merry Christmas to everyone.
I know. I see you got all your stuff. It's
girl, I didn't put a tree up because these little bad cats. I didn't want to be bothered. I just, you know. And you know, we put a tree up last year, and it was beautiful, you know, and we would have put one up this year, but we just got so much work to do, and Brian is so busy, and I just said, let's just decorate, you know, and like I said, that's good enough, and it still feels very much like Christmas, you know. So
yeah, that's cool. Happy. I didn't decorate at all.
Well, that's okay, you know. It's coming and going. There was a few times I didn't do anything.
It's funny because my house is all kind of like the colors that I have. I have a lot of burgundy, and like in my bedroom, everything is like Christmassy colors.
Yeah, so you have those colors anyway.
So yeah, I just haven't really been decorating, but
no, your place is nice. I mean, my place. I love color, as you say. I can love yellow, but my place. Getting a whole do-over. It's going to be completely different. The fireplace, everything is changing. So at the same time next year, it will be a completely different look.
Let me know if you have a good person that knows how to do flooring, because I
need I'm redoing all that stuff. So my contractor, he's really good, and then just some of the people he's connected me with are pretty good too. So I will let you know, and that's kind of where I'm at. You know,
okay, girl. Look, I don't want to hold you any longer. But yeah, we can, you know, we can hook up again, because I like tomorrow. I think I'm gonna be talking to one of my friends about He's a bodybuilder, or he lifts weights a lot. So I'll be talking about all types of things, but we'll see where this leads. You know, in some ways I kind of want to do more of a vlog of what I like to do, the things that I like you said, going to the spa, going to this, going to whatever, getting
a review, because a lot of people don't know, just like even the flotation stuff that was introduced to me by someone. And if, like I said, if anyone that's watching who may see this later on, the place is called Float. I'm guessing it's still in Pasadena, but they call it like salt tanks. They're salt flotation tanks, and they're really good for you to become centered and quiet. And girl, a lot of times that's all you need, like meditation. I'm learning to meditate. Oh, and I forgot to mention, oh my God, like I said, my friends Roy and Maria Turner. Maria talked to me about being centered and doing meditation. And then I also want to thank my friend Angelus, who's my trainer. She helped me with, she's also a very good person about, you know, what to put in your body and what not to put in your body.
Right.
And
Well, look up, you know, I know some people, I know Buddhism isn't, from what I understand, it's not really considered a religion.
mm-hmm.
I don't know, but from what I understand, it's more of just meditation and
right. Well, you can learn to meditate. What I'm
Yeah.
learning is that meditation, it's just being quiet, you know.
Right.
It's just,
Yeah.
like now I'm learning, and that's the reason why I really don't miss the TV as much. I currently don't have my TV on. I only have the internet where I watch Netflix or something like that, because I'm just so tired of all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it's the same old crap every day. It's nothing new.
I don't watch it. I haven't watched the news since Donald Trump became president. That's why all these people that are mad about him, I'm like, what happened? I don't even know.
Yeah, because
I don't care.
It brings you down. It makes you sad. And I just don't have the time for it. And I'm just to be centered. And I went and did a celebration with my friend Denise a few days ago down at the beach, because she has a really nice place right on the beach in Long Beach. And she had a ceremony where you get rid of all the stuff you want to get rid of out of your life, and you burn it. And we did a whole ceremony on the beach.
Oh, wow.
It was really cool. And you get a chance to get rid of, you know, it's like because of the new moon that's coming in. I mean, there's people that are like, oh, y'all just hippy dippy.
Right.
Whatever. At the end of the day, anything that helps you to be more centered and helps you to
Let me tell you what's helping me is I'm trying to do more like a minimalist lifestyle, where I'm pretty much, every time I come, like if I rent out my place, I'll come home. Next thing you know, I'm in the closet throwing stuff away, getting rid of that, figuring out, because before it was all about organizing and finding what places to put stuff. Now my thing is, I don't want anything that I don't need, and I don't care what it's, because it literally stresses you out. The more stuff you have, the more
you're trying to figure out what to do with it. And I know exactly what you mean. You know, it stresses you out trying to find out where to put all this crap.
And I do that with
all this crap, right?
Girl, like I have so many different email addresses and different things, but one thing I said, okay, because I like to have different ones for different things,
right?
For different purposes or whatever. But my thing is, okay, I can have those, but I need to clean them out. Like, so I went through and I said, okay, so I have a Google Calendar, and I'm always organized when it comes to like Google Docs, Google, you know, I always write things down. I always have, but I make sure that I clean out that email stuff, and I'm trying to eliminate mail, and I hate getting the mail, like all that kind of stuff. I don't want to deal with it no more. And I don't know, I think as part of it is getting older. You don't want to fill your mind up with all this stuff and just stuff, you know, even pots and pans. It's like, how many pots and pans do you need? How many?
You use the same ones over and over again until you do something specific. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
An Uber driver one time, he told me that he lives with his wife and his child, and they only had 3 cups. Now I'm not going to go that extreme, but he had 3 cups, 3 plates, 3 forks, 3 spoons, 3 knives, like that. And that's it. And they don't have nothing in their house. The furniture is minimal. You know, a lot of people don't like trinkets anymore. Like back in the day, I would go to Pier 1, get all kind of, you know, this and that. Now it's like, I need to get rid of all these candles. I don't want to have all this stuff, because when I get ready to walk out the door to go on a trip, I want to be able to just pick up a luggage, throw stuff in there, and walk out. I don't want to have to worry about putting things away. And, you know, I just need life to be simple.
Right. You know? I know what you mean.
So that's what
you got to do is get through. Yeah. And, you know, over the years, you realize you don't need all that crap. And I notice when I go shopping, I don't even really go shopping anymore, like for furniture and stuff. I am getting, like I said, my whole place is getting redone, but I just am keeping it on a minimal, you know, tip, because it's the same crap over and over again.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, I just don't really feel the need for it. And like all the clothes, like you said, I've given away so many bags, just bags of clothes. And then you're constantly buying new stuff. Girl, I just bought 2 new coats and I don't even know why I bought them because they were cute and they were on sale. But the weather has gotten cold enough where I can wear the coats, you know, but at the same time, I just got rid of a bunch of coats. It's like you just keep getting more.
Well, I know there's like a documentary, it's like a YouTube documentary or whatever on called The Minimalist, and I think it's on YouTube.
I saw that on YouTube.
It's either YouTube or
on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah. And basically, these guys, a lot of these people that do minimalism, all they do is they go to their, like, if you love Louis Vuitton, if you love Chanel, if you love whatever, you can buy, you know, 3 dresses and 4 pairs of pants, and it could be all top of the line Louis Vuitton, whatever. But then all that other cheap junk that you used to buy, you don't buy that no more. So you only have the things that you really love,
right?
And those would be the few outfits that have your closet. And then
you notice how you wear the same thing over and over again.
Oh, I do now. Let me tell you,
you wear the same thing over and over again anyway.
Girl, I have stuff in storage that I haven't seen in a year or two.
No, and that's
I need to throw all that stuff away.
Yeah, because they say if you haven't worn it in a year, you need to get rid of it. And that's what I've done. I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff, and I'm about to do my next wave of because I've got like all kinds of little T-shirts, little shirts and stuff, and I'm like, do I even wear this stuff? I'm just throwing all that stuff out. Just throw it all out.
It's time to get rid of it. You know, that's the thing, and it's like, could be like that. When I really retire, I want to be able to just say, hey, I'm going to New York, I'm going to Chicago, I'm going to wherever, some other country.
You just, learn to pack minimally, and I've learned to do that lately. Just take the things you're going to wear, but you got to prepare those to make sure you have something for being cold. Like I'm going to Arizona in a few days because I have to go back up for my treatment. And I made the mistake of thinking it was going to be warm. And when I went, not this last time, but the time before that, I was like, why is everybody wearing boots and jackets? And I didn't even carry anything. Luckily, it was still warm enough where it wasn't too bad for me. I learned my lesson. So now, like when I go next week, they're really in their winter. So I know now to take stuff that's going to keep me warm,
Yes.
But yeah, girl, I'm going to get you off of here because we'll be talking forever.
I know. Okay.
But anyway, thank you for the platform. And thank your viewers, and hopefully if people get to see this in retrospect, they learn something, and we forgive you. Forgive us for just chatting, people, because we are friends and we don't, talk all the time. So we're kind of using this as our time to talk. But I really want to say thank you, Angela, for letting me talk about our film that I'm very proud of, and I'm glad that you like it, and I'm glad that you allow me to talk about the other projects that I'm doing, and I am grateful that you allowed me to talk about my health. And this is actually the very first time I've actually talked this much about what I'm going through now. I haven't done that with anybody. I haven't shared this with anybody really, except close friends, not on a public forum. Right. But it's okay because I need to do that. I really need to accept it and realize it's happening and deal with it. And the first way of doing that is to talk about it. So I appreciate you allowing me to do that on your show.
No problem. Yeah.
And we'll see how things go. And I'm just gonna keep fighting and keep, living my life and being happy, and whatever that leads to, I'm happy, that I'm still here.
Exactly.
That's the way it works.
Let me know when you want to go to
we're going probably. I want to go sometime in January. We could just wait till the holiday is over with.
Isn't it okay? I think it's like, how much is it for what?
It's expensive. I thought it was like $40 a day or something. I mean, I remember when I looked at it before, I was really surprised that it was not any more expensive than like a regular hotel room, and I was really surprised because of all the things that you do while you're there.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't as expensive as I thought it
No,
was.
it's not as expensive as most places that you go and do a water fast. Most of them charge like $3,000 or more, 5 or whatever.
And what
But
are you paying for? Because you're not eating anything. So what
well,
is it that
see, from what I looked at, I think though I was looking at maybe like a 10-day fast, and I think it was going to be like $1,500 because when you stay overnight, you have to stay on the facility. They don't let you leave.
right?
And
Because in case for your health, they have to be able to
yeah,
check. Yeah.
and it's I think it's like the hotel is like $125 a night.
A night. That's normal actually. Which like I was saying, I expected it to be more than that.
Yeah, me too.
So I think staying for a week should be long enough.
Yeah, that's
like
good.
my friend Denise says she wants to go, but she's an attorney.
Okay.
But, I don't think people can do more than a week because they have to get back to work or they have to, So it's definitely a time that, or we can go like on a weekend, like go on a Thursday and come back on a Monday. So you still kind of get the week. So you're not really losing your week,
Exactly.
But I'm looking forward to it,
Yeah. And the thing about water fasting that also is that you don't have to do it all consecutively. It still works over time. Like you can do there's a lot of people, like if I don't know, about the Healthy Alternative channel on YouTube.
I have heard of it, but is it on YouTube?
It's on Facebook. They have a channel on Facebook called A Healthy Alternative, and they have a YouTube channel also.
Oh, okay, I'll check it out.
A lot of people that have done water fast, long-term water fast, and they've lost weight. They got rid of this, they got rid of that, everything. And they recommend. They've had several people that have done 20 and 30 days at a time, but then they also have some people that do like 2 days on and then eat 2 days and then 2 days on again. Like there's people that play around with it and it's still effective either way. You can do one if you could fast 1 day a week and over time it's still gonna matter.
It's just like with intermittent fasting, which we didn't discuss. It's sort of, you don't necessarily have to do water fasting. You can just do intermittent fasting and it would be better. And it actually, you can fast 1 or 2 days a week. And intermittent fasting that people don't realize, you don't have to completely cut out everything. You just fast for 14 to 16 hours. Which like say for instance, you want to eat at 8 in the morning, just know that you have to stop eating at noon because you have like a 4-hour window. Whatever time you start your meal, then you'd only stop 4 hours later or 6 hours. Some people do 6 hours. Like if you start eating at noon, you stop at 6. And then you don't eat again from 6 until noon the next day.
Right. I actually didn't eat today until right before we came on. And it was only like a little frozen thing because I didn't get a chance to cook anything. But I went all the way from yesterday until 8 o'clock or whatever today. Because sometimes now that's something I need to stick to because it's easy for me to go all day without eating.
And that's good though. That's good
for you. Yeah. And it's definitely good. They say that a lot of people reverse Alzheimer's from doing
because again, Alzheimer's is a brain thing, and if it's brain, your brain is mostly made up of glucose. So
once I found out that Alzheimer's is nothing more because the tissue of the brain is just like it's the same tissue of the intestine, apparently. And they say that your gut, even though they always talk about, your brain is so important, your stomach, your gut is actually more telling your brain what to do. Yeah. Basically.
Well, they talk about the gut period is very important. You have to have your microbes. I read that in Jane's book too, but I already knew that ahead of time. That if you're if you had gut issues, because I used to always have gut issues even as a child. So that's the thing that that has affected my health throughout my entire life is like not getting, of not having good microbes in my gut,
But if you know that I think they called Alzheimer's can be considered almost like type 3 diabetes. It's nothing more than a lot of plaque, the same plaques that are found in the stomach, same, mucus and all this other stuff. So they say when people do water fast, a lot of times they reverse that too. I
can believe that. Or intermittent fasting period will reverse all of that. Yeah, it's all, again, and as African Americans, there's a woman on my site, and I can't think of her name. Her name is Brooke, but she's a really good health advocate. You don't see too many African American health advocates. Donna Richardson is another one, but Donna Richardson is more of a aerobics. I remember her from the aerobics days.
Yeah.
Her, and you remember the girl that was in House Party? I can't think of her name. She's really good too.
I forgot
her name. But she's another one that talks about, like she says, it's really about your diet. Because she was showing her abs and stuff, and she was saying, I think both of her parents passed away from cancer, and she said that. So she's a really big health advocate. But you don't really see, like, you see people like that are doing health stuff, but you don't see like the average people that aren't celebrities, like people like us talking about it. You don't really see people talking about it. You only see like celebrities kind of talking about it. And I think people need to see everyday people that are doing it actually like them to, need to see us out there doing it. And I'm trying. I'm probably not as good as I should be, but I'm trying, and that's all I can do. So,
yeah, you're right. It's time to talk about it because all these people are coming up with channels, and it's so funny because half the stuff they're talking about, I knew about that stuff like 30.
Right, you already knew about it. You just have to get it out there and let people know that. And then also people think it's very unattainable, but it's not. It's very attainable. It's just you just gotta get up and stop going to McDonald's and stop going to. I don't eat at any of those places. I can't stand those places. Ugh, like McDonald's, Jack in the Box. I don't even go in those places. It's just gross.
It's funny that what has happened is they tried to make life so complicated by telling us that we need to go to a grocery store to buy a bunch of packaged food or a bunch of dead meat that's been probably dead for a week and then come home and cook it or come home and do whatever. But back in the day, people would just go outside, pick their greens, pick their flowers.
Very immediately. Everything was more immediate.
Exactly. That's why, girl, if I show you the inside of my refrigerator, I don't ever have meat in my freezer, ever. Okay? And if I ever decide I want to eat some meat, I'm definitely going to the store that day and cooking it that night. I don't freeze meat. So I said my next refrigerator is definitely going to be it's probably gonna have to be a one of those really nice wolf,
like Sub-Zero or whatever they call
it. Where you can it's either that or and Samsung even has one also where you can open both dours, but the shelves go all the way down to the bottom. So you don't have a freezer at the bottom unless you want to make it cold enough to be a freezer. But I don't. It's certain things we just got to stop doing. But the thing is, they make us feel like, oh, well, something's wrong with you if you don't have a bunch of frozen meat in the freezer. If something's wrong with you, don't have a bunch of stuff in the cat cupboards. All that stuff is bad for you, though.
It's funny. You don't know. I mean, the thing is, from a Midwestern standpoint, eating a lot of canned foods. I grew up. You had a pantry, and you just had food in the pantry. And even though my parents grew up on farms, I mean, we did grow stuff, but you guess we're living in a time where everybody was just looking at convenience.
That was a popular thing to do. And now it's catching up with us because it's not healthy for us.
No, all that sodium and stuff has been in the can and you gotta make stuff more from scratch. And
so I think that's the key because even like sometimes when I'm really relaxed here at home, whatever, I'll like if I was wearing my own hair, if I was doing, healthy stuff, girl, I would go in the kitchen and make me some flaxseed gel. I would do my own gel. I would make my own, like when I soak my feet, I don't go and buy stuff from CVS. I use apple cider vinegar. I use coconut oil. I use all kind of stuff, but I hardly ever buy products anymore. I create my own products.
As you should. I mean, it's healthier for you. It really is,
So, but I won't hold you, girl. Yeah, we'll talk about more stuff later.
It's so fun, and hopefully people will get on and be like, "Dang, all y'all did was just talk."
It was like we were just gossiping, or I guess.
No, we talked about all the subjects that we said we wanted to talk about,
Yeah.
and it just went on for a minute. And if people want to listen, they'll listen, and maybe. Hey, I'm like, thanks for letting me talk about it. So
I know.
So you go and enjoy your evening, and I'm gonna finish enjoying my evening. And Merry Christmas to you.
Okay.
And I wish you the best health. And like I said, I know we'll be seeing each other very soon.
Yes.
And it's funny because I was over in your neck of the woods and I thought about you, and that's probably why you reached out to me. A friend of mine had a baby shower, and when I went over there, I said, "This is where Angela lived," but I didn't know where exactly. It was off of.
Don't say it.
Oh no! I don't know what. I couldn't tell you. I don't remember, but I know it was near you. And it's funny that you called me to talk about this because I had thought of you when I was over there, and I said, "Dang, I wonder." But the only thing is, I had to get back home because we were going somewhere, and if I had had more time, I would have called you and said, "Hey, what are you up to? Since I'm over here, let's get together."
Yeah.
But let's definitely, like I said, move forward and explore the water stuff, fasting, and then I want to have you come over here and do one of the recipes with me in my kitchen. And we're gonna, because I want to start something like that. I mean, and I'm not doing it for any kind of monetization or anything. I just want to have it as a healthy option. Like we come and do a keto meal, like showing how easy it is, and then. My friend, we can go to her place and because she wants to film it to show her doing a vegetarian keto meal and just giving people options,
Yeah, you got
fun. It'll be fun. So
that'd be nice.
Bye, public, and bye.
Okay, girl.
How do I disengage? I just say bye-bye and that's it.
I know. Okay, I will see you later, girl. I'm just I guess we'll head on out.
Okay. Well, goodbye, everybody, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Okay, bye, Joyce.
Bye.
Let me get myself out of here.
All right.
Hey, the last live stream we were dancing, girl.
I know.
All right, let me see. How do I exit?
Get that.
Okay. Ending now. All right. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye, Joyce. Oh boy, I hope it works.
I know.